basically, it's everybody talking about their characters, their character ideas, figuring out their connections. I wanted to do it in a. I'm here to answer any of your questions because there's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I can explain stuff about Waterdeep. Go over some of the new rules. There's an item crafting system.
Yeah, that
all
looks
sorts
so
of stuff.
sweet.
Oh,
He's
I didn't even see
definitely
that.
considering
Mhm.
of using it, obviously.
Yeah, I want to learn calligraphy. That's the one.
Calligraphy. What's calligraphy?
Your
that do?
Look in the.
Yeah,
It's
look
like
in
towards the
crafting
bottom
thing.
of the.
I'm in the
Journal.
kitchen.
Oh well, you know.
Excuse me. Right.
Calligraphy items are scrolls that you can make that modify or that like modify spells, or they can sort of detect hidden threats. So there's like a detect magic scroll, trap binding.
Basically, you make like spell scrolls, more or less.
So it's kind of like the rogue. You're like
It-
you're making a rogue.
Sort of. Well, I mean, like,
No.
because Ranger has detect traps, but detect magic's like a wizard thing. So it's like detecting hidden dangers, but it's also like sorcerer meta magic feats because a lot of the
Yeah.
scrolls duplicate meta magic stuff.
Yeah, like the broad script. That's a meta
Yeah.
magic thing.
And then
you
there's
can
some
extend
that-
the range of things.
Right, and then there's some that replicate minor spells like Unseen Servant. Later
Mhm.
on, you can get ones that like create origami like constructs that can deliver messages for you, all sorts of stuff.
Is this something that you've created, or
No, this is a document I have. I got from DM's Guild. It's
Someone joined.
it's something I've wanted to do in a game for a while. I put it in my home game. It kind of got used. It wasn't used a whole lot because they were super high level when I finally implemented it, and by then
Yeah.
it was just sort of a hassle.
Yeah.
What are we talking
Oh, the item creation
Reindeers?
system.
about?
That too.
Chuck Norris. You guys got any good Chuck Norris jokes?
Your mom.
Oh.
Boo.
I can't remember I think the last time I heard a Chuck Norris joke, I was a freshman in college. So
Dude, we got to bring them back, dude. Retro memes.
retro memes. God.
I have that meme on vinyl. Isn't that funny?
So,
I thought it was funny.
I just have this image in my head of like a 80-year-old man trying to show his grandkids like what was cool back in the day, because like our grandparents have records of like big band music.
We just see like Sonic and Tails, like
Yeah, this is what was hip with the kids, and they showed like the butterfly meme or something like.
Do you remember all your bass?
Yeah, yeah.
we had Bongo Cat. Kids. You
I
Bongo-
remember when he was called Keyboard Cat and he had a shirt.
When the kids get on their fucking flying cars and their hoverboards and their bell-bottom
You guys,
pants.
have you guys seen Bongo Cat yet?
No.
It's a new meme, guys. Give it the times. Go look up Bongo Cat right now.
Hold on.
The world is falling apart, and you don't even know about Bongo Cat? What the fuck's wrong with you?
Exactly.
The
It's your
world's
priority street, guys.
fucking insane.
Hold on, let me send you a bongo cat here that I found yesterday.
Show him the Bongo Cat. Hit him up with the Bongo Cat.
Oh, because I love that song so much. Unironically. I'm serious.
Oh, the song's so good.
I know, right?
You're all silly.
The hell am I watching here? Why do I hang out with you people?
Because we're the best.
Jesus Christ, what is this?
That's what I said.
Should listen to the actual song.
Have you not seen the original with the old men?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that song. It's great.
Oh yeah. Eric, have you seen the original with the old man in it?
No.
Show
Christ.
it to him, Kyle.
It's not necessary.
Send him the video. Give him the good memes, you know.
As a preview, the name of the song is Big Enough.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm nervous.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
Yeah. It's that.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's frankly beautiful.
I just like
Where
this.
where the fuck do you people find this shit? How do you find this stuff? I don't
What?
understand.
Me?
I'm actually pretty sure I first heard it when Kyle linked it. Like,
I would,
A
yeah.
year ago.
Specifically,
Oh,
Kyle, where do
yeah,
you find
that's
this
right.
shit?
I have seen this because you.
I'm on the internet.
Kyle
way too
finds the
much.
weirdest shit.
I
that-
do.
That fucking
I like
video of the
This
like
was-
Splash Mountain thing. I've had that. I was sitting in a movie theater with that stuck in my head.
Kyle knows how to meme.
yeah.
Thank you. I just had to search things.
He's our memer, meme bro.
Meme expert.
Yeah.
Memeologist.
Memologist.
Yeah.
Memologist. God, that's hard to say.
Memologist. Memologist. Mammalian.
Memalian.
Memalian.
Susan, I'm making sausages
That's nice, honey.
because I'm hungry and there's nothing to eat.
I love how Charlie said he's gonna be late, and then we responded with these weird ass memes. He's probably like, "What the fuck?"
It's okay.
He'll learn. He'll learn in time.
It's okay. He won't miss a second of it.
He's on the same page as this. He's gonna
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
respond. Listen,
yeah.
just wait.
This is for furry art, isn't it?
What?
I'll just watch the video. It's great.
Hmm.
Well, I super excited for this game.
Stop trying to keep us on track. What's wrong?
Ryan, what are you starting to think of for your character? I know that you've been.
Nothing. I am completely out of blank right now. That's Ryan with my character. I'm thinking maybe he's like you suggested a bartender. Maybe I don't know.
Oh,
A goblin.
I love the idea of our first goal being to get a bar, get a club.
Maybe his
Oh,
family was like a family of like goblin mobsters. I don't know. Like what is the what is this land like? Is it like Faerun or is it because it is in Waterdeep?
It is Faerun. Yeah.
It is.
It's
Faerun.
Waterdeep.
like-
yeah.
It's Waterdeep.
But-
What are you talking about?
I understand that, but I mean every world is kind of different. Are goblins normal in this world where they can just kind of walk around?
It's Forgotten Realm. Well, it's fucking.
I mean,
same
it is
Let the DM speak, Susan.
It is a pretty good question because I mean, there's
It's not
versions
like
of
WoW.
Faerun where
Yeah.
where goblins are killed on sight. There's versions of Faerun where goblins are just
Yeah.
Like it is very much on.
Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Thank you,
So
Kyle.
here's the status of goblins in Waterdeep. Okay. Let me give you the lowdown here. Goblins can walk around in Waterdeep just fine. They are like, I don't want to say second class citizens, but they are heavily scrutinized by pretty much everybody. Goblins are like, there is a good reason to like be skeptical of goblins. When you're out in the world, goblins are dangerous. Typically, the goblins in Waterdeep can also be dangerous. They're into a lot of shady shit, but it's sort of up in the air whether that's because people treat them that way or if they are that way and people are just sort of reacting to it. That being said, like a goblin or a bugbear or a hobgoblin can walk down the street without being hassled, unless you're in certain districts of the city, in which case you better be carrying something or guarding somebody. Otherwise, you're probably going to get profiled and stopped. So,
Okay, I feel like that's a decently workable like version
Sexist
for most of the races.
profiling.
Racist.
yes, racist. Yeah, there is a little bit of racism in Waterdeep, and a whole lot of
Whoa.
classism. It's more classism really. Like goblins
I don't
are
really
going to
care.
be lower to middle class typically, and they don't want to deal with that riffraff. Like Artemis, if he was dressed in normal clothing, couldn't walk through Seaward just willy-nilly typically, because he's not upper class. So it's more of a class thing but there is a little bit of racism.
Are we gonna learn about Artemis's background through this campaign?
God, I hope.
Maybe, probably not. There will be like I plan on doing Easter eggs, but I'm not. This isn't an Artemis campaign, so yeah. No.
Though I feel like we'll learn a little bit just by learning what Waterdeep is like.
That's
true.
That will probably that's probably the better way of seeing it. Is you'll learn about Artemis by seeing the world he grew up in, especially Dock Ward, where I suspect, based on your weird fucking character ideas, you're gonna be spending a decent amount of time in.
Except for me, why the fuck am I there, really? Actually, because I don't want to be up in Seaward, because fuck that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you're Susan, you're thinking of being like a noble who doesn't really want to be a noble.
Yeah. I don't know why yet, okay? I just like the idea.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
But, yeah.
Well, if you're a gun building sort of a go kind of girl, I could definitely see you not wanting to be in the nobility. Waterdeep nobility is very stuck up. It's not as like super. It's not like super prudish like Cormier. It's not supposed to be like
Victorian.
Yeah, it's not Victorian England, but it is like there are rules, and you know, for example, Nova would stay in her room all the time. So
Would she though?
I mean, well, she would be put in her room
Probably.
because having hyperactive spellcaster little girls is typically
In the
frowned
city.
upon.
Yeah.
So, Josh, are you familiar with Discworld and Ankh-Morpork?
I am vaguely familiar with it.
Gotcha. So, yeah, I've been picturing Waterdeep as kind of like Ankh-Morpork so far, which is like the gigantic like metropolis that's in Discworld, where it's mostly a bunch of like cluttered, slummy areas with some nice areas. Pretty much a big pastiche of like pre-industrial England kind of thing.
Well, here, let me show you the map.
Oh, perfect.
Oh wow.
The one good map they put in Waterdeep Dragon Heist. And to be fair, it is a really nice map. Yeah.
Oh wow, you even got the road names and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was saying, like when I was truth be told, the most fun I had was reading about Waterdeep and then like looking at this map and figuring out like all the Artemis shit.
Yeah. Like which street he grew up on.
Yep, I know his neighborhood now. I grew up.
Oh, this
on...
map is detailed. Nice.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I mean, if the whole fucking campaign is, taking, I would expect that they come up with fucking street names.
It's Pearl Alley in Dock Ward.
I'm gonna find
now,
it.
is that like 200 south, 700 east? Because I don't like road names. We live in the grid system here in Utah. It's superior to road names.
I'm down in North Texas, where it's all road names except for certain parts where university is 380 now. At what point? Oh, we don't know. It just turned to 380 at some point. Okay.
No,
I see it.
Yeah. So
I'm never.
Let's go there.
I grew up
immediately.
I grew up in Virginia Beach, which is only road names, and because of the shitty way the city is laid out, like road names change mid-road.
Oh, I've been in places like that. It's annoying.
What if we, on the first game, just decide to leave Waterdeep?
Oh, campaign's over.
If you want to do that, we'll change the campaign name and we'll do something else. That's fine.
I've heard there's some stuff going down in the Desert Valley. Some stuff involving some elements.
Let's go blow
I
shit
will
up over
murder
there.
you before you get to Amphale if you try heading to the Desert Valley.
Well,
Anywhere
I mean,
else you wanna go?
like,
We're not gonna
I
do
know
that.
a fast way to get there. I mean, we could take a boat, like.
Are you sure? Because we could go up the road to.
Is it gonna be faster?
what should be faster?
Yeah, I don't know. Faster. We could bribe the boat people. What do you think?
And
It'd
we
be
could,
like
yeah,
5
save the
gold
money.
per person.
And what happened to that horse statue's balls?
That's the campaign.
Yeah,
What do-
make it about
what
a
do you
horse
think that-
statue.
What do you think the treasure is, guys, that you gotta find?
I really don't know what the
Horse
fuck- what is
balls.
The
this?
horse balls. Oh my god,
Horse
it's all
balls.
coming full circle.
So back to not horse balls. So let's see here. On your map, so you see Seaward. Seaward is the super fancy place. Like people don't have houses so much as they have estates in Seaward. That's old money shit up there. It's also most of the city's temples. They're really nice temples. I think there's an asylum up there somewhere.
Ooh, let's go there.
There's also a new asylum that's opened up.
Is there like a clear dividing line, or is there like a like you see like
it kind
a
of like
sign?
it kind of sort of flows into everybody, but the sort of dividing line would be the high road. It's like you can actually see the color change in the houses. It goes from black to sort of brownish a little bit. So actually here I can draw it. It's not racist if it's you know it. Probably.
Hey, racism makes things interesting.
Wait, what?
To be honest, a lack of racism is boring most of the time. So
yeah, we need racism.
That's how I feel.
More racism.
Narratively.
Dirty goblins.
You can tell we got
Get out of here, green skin.
Anyway, so the blue line here you can kind of see the dividing line between what's Seaward and what's the other wards. But Seaward's a really nice place. Northward is also very nice. It's upper middle class. It's new money. It's some nobles, a lot of nobles actually. So Northward, Seaward, both good. Trade Ward is it's mostly commercial. It's middle class, but it's pretty nice. Same with Castle Ward. Castle Ward is the city civic center. It's also the physical center. That's where all your government buildings are. Few temples. Castle Waterdeep, the Yawning Portal Inn. All sorts of places are in Castle Ward. City of the Dead is the Memorial Park and Graveyard. That's literally all it is. Dock Ward is one of the slums. It is not a particularly good place. It's like the better off of the two slums financially, which makes it more dangerous because there are actually reasons for criminals to care about it. It also has the naval harbor over there, and lastly is Southern Ward, which they did a really shitty job of labeling. In fact, they didn't even label it. Bad.
Oh,
Where's Southern Ward?
yeah, I don't see it either.
So Southern Ward is here. Let me trace it out for you guys. It's south of Trade Ward, and it basically consists. Yeah, it basically consists of like this area around here. And what Southern Ward is it's the what Southern Ward is essentially it's a lot of people who who aren't native to Waterdeep. This is where you end up moving to. This is sort of like Chinatown, except it's like Chinatown, Little India, and like every other sort of ethnicity kind of crammed into one thing.
Nice.
So this is probably like there's almost certainly like a goblins neighborhood in here, stuff like that. There's also a giant face, which is actually
you're saying
a good.
Is there's a nice Mexican restaurant where I could get some like street tacos down here.
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
The giant face actually though is a good segue to talking about some of the weird shit.
You're a master at your craft, Josh.
Thank you. It's a good segue to talking about some of the weird shit that's in Waterdeep. So Waterdeep sits on top of the world's largest dungeon, Undermountain. That's a thing. There are entrances to Undermountain literally like hidden all throughout the city. You never know when you might find an entrance to Undermountain or just how deep it goes, because not all of them lead to the first floor. And the floors of Undermountain are really weird in that like floor 1 actually has might have distinct sections to it that cannot be accessed from Undermountain. So if you go down at one spot, you can navigate to rooms 1, 2, and 3. Then you have to go back up to the city, find the other entrance to it, go down to explore rooms 4, 5, and 6, stuff like that. So it's extremely labyrinthine that way.
That sounds pretty great, actually. Reminds me of like old Zelda dungeons and stuff like that.
It definitely has like an old school Zelda sort of feel to it. Let's see. And there's literally, it can literally be anything in Undermountain. Nobody really knows what is in Undermountain. Even the book that they're publishing isn't a full map of Undermountain. By the way, the guy who made it is insane, violently insane, and may still be alive down there. So that's a thing.
Nice, because isn't like the Undermountain dungeon that's coming out later this year, like their first one that goes all the way to 20?
Yes. Yep. However, Undermountain is not the only weird thing. Scattered throughout the city are colossal statues, like literally colossal. They're like 80 feet tall, and they used to be alive, and they used to rampage through the city. They used to be on the ethereal plane. The spell plague hit, and then they suddenly just appeared in the city and started rampaging. And then I think they stopped because of people. I think Lariel Silverhand managed to get them to stop or fucking something. I don't know exactly why. The point is that you can walk through Waterdeep and suddenly find this giant 70-foot tall man just sort of like in the middle of the road, and they've started building like architecture around the thing. There are inns that are built like that are like carved out of giant statues and shit.
That's awesome. We're gonna get in. Our party rave bar is gonna be right between the legs of one of those. Calling it now.
Oh man, I feel like that's prime real estate though. We're gonna have to save up for that property.
We're gonna break so many legs getting that prime real estate.
Dude, we'll just steal it. Come on.
Or just blow it up. I mean, no, wait, no. We didn't want to blow that one up.
What do you guys thinking about our morality here? Are we good guys?
What's morality?
Like the character I'm making, he could fall on either side while still being kind of ruthless with either side. He could either be wanting to become a power-hungry despot kind of guy, or be a, someone who actually represents the interests of the common man kind of type. So he could be wanting to be a tyrant, or he might be wanting to be more an actually genuinely benevolent ruler. I would definitely want to be kind of ruthless if in either direction he could go.
Mm-hmm. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Welcome,
hello.
Charlie.
Hi, Charles. I'm Clay
Hello.
Charles.
Hey Charlie, good to meet you.
Good to meet you guys.
Yeah, welcome. We were just Josh was giving us a little bit of a lowdown about some things about Waterdeep.
Who put the smiley?
I'm putting maple syrup in a shot glass.
There's a lot of shenanigans happening around
Please
here.
please don't tell me you're gonna just drink maple syrup.
No, I'm,
You know what, if you are, don't tell
dipping
me.
these little breakfast sausages in it.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Drinking maple syrup.
And then I'll drink it.
That's weird.
I don't know if I cooked this food.
I'm gonna make German pancakes.
So let's see. There's the giant statues. And there's any number of like other weird, random sort of magical events that happen in Waterdeep. Waterdeep is very much a it's not a giant slum. It does have nice parts, and it does have most of Waterdeep is actually very nice. And it is a very much a fantastical city. It has supernatural fantasy elements interwoven every fucking where. During the full moon, there is a plaza in Southern Ward that actually creates a sphere of light that causes everybody inside to be able to fly, causing the water Davians actually have a unique form of dancing that is specialized for like flying.
Why is the field?
Oh my God, I'm way into
walled
that.
off?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that walled off?
So Field Ward is so for those of you
Is that where the
who
prison
don't see
is?
it- No, Field Ward is actually was not initially a ward. All of this is like
Added?
No, yeah, essentially it's post spell plague, so it's like happened within the past 20 years. All of that used to be like training ground, and during like a refugee crisis, everybody started coming into the city. They put them between the two walls, and it grew into Field Ward, which is the biggest slum in the city.
I was thinking, I was thinking that maybe Waterdeep, they built a wall and they made the field ward paid for it, but now it makes much more sense.
Not quite. Almost as bad though.
None of that in this world.
Oh man, darn.
Well, they did like kind of keep the refugees out, so I mean, it's not anyway.
I mean, that's just kind of general politics is going to happen in any setting.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of it was sort of like a big influx of people from like I think it was a troll war or something. I don't fucking know. It's the spell plague. All sorts of weird shit happened. Neverwinter got a cavern in the middle of it with abelisks at the bottom. That fucking sucked. Anyway,
is that when all the goblinoids moved in?
What I'm thinking is goblinoids live in Southern Ward, Charlie, which is like the big sort of cultural mixing pot of Waterdeep. Like when you come to Waterdeep, you initially most people end up coming through the South Gate. They end up settling in Southern Ward. So you have like neighborhoods of halflings, goblins, lots of humans who just aren't from Waterdeep. I know there's a big dwarven community in Southern Ward. Southern Ward is also home to a place called the Bloody Fist, which has one of the largest fighting rings in the city.
So it sounds to me like New York during the late 1800s.
Yes, actually, that's a very good way of thinking about it. Is because there is like a weird, not quite. There's like slightly above fantasy level of technology in Waterdeep. They have a where is it? It's in Seaward, but it's the Temple of the God Gond, which is the god of invention and craftsmanship, and apparently gadgets. They have a lot of like sort of steampunky technology. There's even a holiday in Waterdeep every fall called the Parade of Wonders, where people bring out their magical golems and constructs and clockwork shit and parade it through the city for everybody to see and enjoy. So you do have a little bit of sort of like magipunk technology kicking around in Waterdeep.
Cool.
So wait, where are we starting this campaign out? I'm sorry if I missed that already.
So like the very first session will start with guys in the Yawning Portal. I'll shift ping you there. God damn it!
Oh, is that what that big old ping is? The big giant golden
arrow? Yeah, that will be. Yeah.
And that's in the Castle Ward? Is that part of the Castle Ward there?
Yep, that's in Castle Ward. That street right below it, I think it's called like Belabar Street or something like that, is actually the dividing line between that and Dock Ward.
So yeah, what is our character hooks? Are we gonna be making those up ourselves? Or are you gonna?
We're kind of discussing. Today?
Yeah, that's sort of what we're discussing.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
Like if you guys have ideas as to like whatever you come up with for a backstory and stuff like that. What you will need to do is you'll need to have a reason to be at the Yawning Portal that particular evening.
I'll be back in just a minute.
Okay.
Can you tell me more about the Yawning Portal then?
Sure. The Yawning Portal it's like one of the most famous taverns in the city. It's a 3-story structure. It's called the Yawning Portal because there is a 40-foot wide pit in the middle of the floor that descends all the way down into Undermountain. And the owner of this bar has a winch system that will lower you down into it if you pay him. So adventurers will often go to the Yawning Portal, pay like, I think it's like 50 gold, he lowers you down, and you can go explore Undermountain and probably die. But maybe you find treasure.
That's what our characters are going to do, right?
If you guys want to. If you want to go down there.
I think we have to wait till November to do that, though.
No, I mean, hey, if you guys want to go down there, I know it's down. I have ideas down there. I don't know if your level 1 characters will like it, but you know. There actually that does remind me. There is a section of the city that is not on this map.
Thank you.
Called Down Shadow, which was the slum before Field Ward was a slum. And a lot of the reason like Field Ward grew up in addition to refugees is Down Shadow it's actually part of the first floor of Undermountain. And what happened is somebody opened a gate somewhere and monsters flooded into that area. So most of the people, so there's a lot of people kicking around Field Ward who were there for just watching their friends get dismembered by Otyugs and beholders and shit. So
shit.
Yeah, those people had it bad.
And where is that in relation to Waterdeep? Like,
Down Shadow is a floor of Undermountain, so it would be somewhere below. Yeah, below here.
Got it.
Well, I have an idea of why I'm at the Yawning Portal.
Mm-hmm.
If it's evening,
I'm back.
Welcome back.
If I'm there, I'm thinking that part of my character's backstory is he delivers barrels
Pizzas.
of his uncle's ale to bars throughout the city, and it could be that the yawning portal is his last stop. And while he was there delivering a barrel, he decides to go in the front to have a drink before he heads home.
That makes sense. That's a perfectly reasonable way.
I knows I did enough working for my own uncle.
Fair enough. I think the more important thing at first, though, might be talking about like why you're like if your characters know each other, and what that connection is.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So what I'm thinking for my character is I was actually interested, just thinking about motivations and stuff. I was looking at the different backstories you had posted in the forums, and the one that kind of hooked me was the heir apparently, which I think is I'm going to kind of use that and go off that for starting to think about what my character is. So the gist of that one is that he was like not the one who was going to inherit the family estate, but recently something's happened to his brother who was going to inherit the estate, and so now he is his family's talking about making him the heir, but he's like not up for the job, and so he's out getting wasted at the yawning portal to kind of drink his worries away. But in terms of relations to other characters, this guy would be a noble who has a lot of money to throw around, but also like enjoys going out and partying. And I'm a bard, so I'm a performer, and I would probably have been out in the seedier parts of Waterdeep when I'm out getting drunk and having a good time. So I could have met any of you, and like Charlie and I were talking about possibly I've like paid him to like rough someone up for me or something in the past.
I just had a funny thought. I could have been paid to carry your passed out ass back to the safety of your ward.
Yeah.
Like this, like during the first session, like you were paid to check out on me. Is that what you're saying?
I'm thinking of like we know each other because at some point in the past, you've been out on a bender and weren't able to. Then you passed out somewhere unsafe, so I carried you back to the rich part of town.
Yeah, I like that.
Like just slumped over my shoulder like a bag of potatoes.
I could see like you not knowing where he lives and just like, okay, this C word, I'll just set him against this lamppost. Hi, my name is so and so, and okay, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, perfect. I love it.
Maybe yell for the city watch before running off so they don't think I did something nefarious.
Yeah, like I was telling these guys, that is a thing to keep in mind if you're playing a monstrous character, especially goblins. It's not like you're not going to get hassled if you're just walking down the street typically, unless you're sort of walking through Seaward and you're not clearly working for somebody.
Right.
But at the same time, like, don't go walking through Seaward unescorted typically. Make sure you are keeping your nose clean, essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, here's a question, because you're talking about being a noble, Eric. Would you know? Would you possibly know Susan's character? Because she was talking about being somebody who doesn't like being a noble.
Too. Yeah, I was considering. I probably do know him or something. Maybe I think he's really hot.
Maybe.
And I always bother him all the time.
and we could be friends because like
probably.
I buy in. Like I love noble society,
yeah,
but I also I know you hate it, but I also kind of like live outside of it to some extent because I don't have to. I'm not worried about it. You know, I don't know. I'm interested to hear more from Josh about like how like what it means to be a noble, I guess, in the city. Like what kind of responsibilities or social customs would go along with that?
It depends. It really depends on whether you're living in sea or Northward. But basically, what it's going to amount to is if you're not the firstborn son, yeah, you can pretty much kind of do whatever you want. Amphale, actually, fun fact, was initially established, or Amphale grew up around the idea of Waterdeep nobles have kids. They have second sons and second daughters who get into trouble, and sometimes they need to leave town for a little while and cool their jets. And Amphale is actually the town. It's like a suburb of Waterdeep, designed to be the playground of young, rich, wealthy people who, quite frankly, are an embarrassment to the family back home.
Oh wow, yeah, I've definitely spent a lot of time in Amphale.
Like it is possible to embarrass the family, and depending on what your family does, that may be an issue. It doesn't have to be an issue if you don't want it to be. We can definitely think of some like, again, especially if you have an older sibling, it's probably not that big of a deal. So
yeah, so my kind of thought is that for my character, I want to, you know, he's kind of this party animal guy, but has like even he's a little bit greedy, maybe like pulled some scams on people or something. I'm trying to think of what, like like money's not an issue for him because he's from nobility. So I don't know why he would be pulling these scams.
The rush of doing it, perhaps.
Yeah, and just to like fuck with people, and it's more about like messing up people's reputations than it is about.
Here's an idea. Like it's obviously very hard to hide the fact that you go carousing regularly from your family. Maybe your parents don't know where you're carousing. Maybe they're under the assumption you're partying in Seaward or you're going to Northward when you're slumming it up sometimes, and that could possibly be scandalous.
Yeah, for sure. And so my thought as well is there's some event that happens that I'm going to kind of have my character be oblivious to, that takes his brother away, that makes him now the heir. And so in a game way, to kind of take away those resources from me, his parents are now like watching him a little more closely. So in the past, maybe he's had freedom to do these things and to spend from the coffers as he wishes, but now he's being a little bit more watched. But in terms of Susan's character, I think we could have met. We could be kind of kindred spirits in that I don't know how much you would go out and like party or do, maybe you've seen me in that scene.
I kind of think of her as someone who definitely thinks noble stuck-up shit is boring as fuck, and she wants to make life a little more fun in whatever means possible, usually by accidentally breaking things or purposefully breaking things or blowing, it involves destruction. But I was actually considering both the heir option, the heir apparently, or the I liked the idea that I somehow work for / help make weapons for some kind of faction or person or entity, and the red knuckle under was also an option that I liked.
That would be very interesting if you had a background like that. A noble with connections to something like that would be very interesting. Making weapons for factions, possibly.
Yeah.
What you definitely have done, I would think, is because you're an artificer, you're a tinker, you probably like have connections to the Church of God. I think it's called the House of Wonders or something. Because again, they actually build constructs there. I suspect that may be where you either got your training or where you may have been initially inspired. I don't know if your character would like go there on a regular basis, although I suspect once they realize that you've been making gunpowder weaponry at some point, people have like stopped by your house to talk.
It's like a yikes.
Yeah. Just like, hey, how's it going? Just maybe you should come to a sermon every Sunday or something like that. See, you're building lots of guns. That's cool. Yeah.
A little story element that I was kind of considering, because Ryan had actually mentioned this, because I was thinking, oh, why did my character get into building things? And he said, maybe your sister lost an arm and you built her an arm. And I was thinking, I don't know if I'm actually, like, when I was young, if building, like, a magical appendage is a thing that I'd be smart enough to actually do, kind of thing. Or maybe,
Well, you could be a wunderkind. You could be one of those children's savants.
Or could that be like a goal you set for yourself from a young age that you're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, or that.
Yeah, maybe she has kind of a janky one right now, and you want to make it better.
Maybe, but yeah, I was thinking of like something tragic with my sister, but then I'm like trying to think of a whole bunch of other things, like is my character also a little crazy and stuff like that? I don't know. I was just trying to think of a bunch of shit.
Noble inbreeding?
I don't necessarily know if you need a reason to be.
True,
to be,
it's
like,
just a personality.
Like
It's
yeah, it's your personality.
It's just someone who likes to make things funner, because they think life's boring.
Exactly. Yeah, I imagine there's definitely a lot of nobles that kind of feel that way too. So there you go.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
One thing to think about with high society is oftentimes it's very close knit. So there's also a good chance that if you're both nobles, you've just known each other your entire lives.
This is very true.
If you're both Waterdeepian nobles, your families have probably known each other for
a while.
Generations.
Yeah.
Yeah, truth be told, you probably do, like, if you heard each other's name, at the bare minimum, you would say, oh, yeah, I've heard of that person. So.
Yeah. Probably know what they look like from a ball, whether you've ever talked to each other or not.
Yeah.
Another thing I was thinking of is I could do like either or flipped, either like me and my sister sibling are in like some kind of a private magic school, and either I don't like magic and go more into the building side of it, or opposite direction where my family is like family that is like a smith's, and then I got into magic, opposite, back and forth. But I don't know which one would be more interesting to do, or that would make more sense.
I think the like your family's more magically inclined and you're more mechanical might make more sense.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, for a noble society, I see magic being more of a thing, and you're almost like, it's like you because artificers do magic, but you're doing magipunk technology, and everybody's just like, the fuck is that? That's cute. Are you gonna do real magic now?
And it requires getting your hands dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the solidity of it. And then tearing it apart. And tearing other solid things apart, because that's fun. Break
Specifically the disassemble part.
Disassembling is fun. I kind of pictured maybe my character is a character that takes things that work just fine and try and mash them together somehow, and sometimes it ends up being a cool new thing, and most of the time, 90% of the time, it just breaks both of them.
I like that. I like that idea.
So yeah, curious, just like put shit together. I don't know. A lot of things.
You make two little mechanical golems at one point, and then one night you just get it in your head, maybe I should combine them, and then it's just like this misshapen mechanical monstrosity crawling around. Kill me.
Yes. Precisely.
Let's see here. Kyle, how about you? What have you been thinking?
So, pretty much for this character, what I'm thinking is he is a prince from. I'm not sure just quite how far off I want the kingdom he's from to be. Like, because with Sable, I kind of had that whole, he's not from around here, kind of, he doesn't know the area kind of thing going on. I don't want to repeat the same little of, oh, what is a credenza? Oh, what is this? Kind of foreigner shtick.
Yeah.
So I might have him be from somewhere that is far away, but not so far away that he's completely like ignorant of city life.
There are the weird thing about the Forgotten Realms is that the part that everybody knows is actually only a small part of it. Faerun is not the Forgotten Realms. The Forgotten Realms consist of Faerun, Sakara, Maztica, where Tabaxi originally come from, and all of those continents have their own city lives, their own giant cities. You could possibly be from somewhere like that, where it is a world-class city. It just happens to be not in Faerun.
I like that, yeah, because I like him being used to cities, just not this city.
Mm-hmm.
And first idea I would have is, I know it's melodramatic, but he would be a twin. So him and his twin brother were both kind of in line for the throne, which is a problem, obviously, for line of succession.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just gonna spend his whole life just kind of going, I'll just let my brother have it. I don't really want to be a king or mess with any of this kind of king running stuff. And he just kind of slummed it up, getting into fights, hanging out at bars, just kind of really just kind of getting down and dirty with the common folk. And then their father, the king, dies unexpectedly, maybe a poisoning from a rival nation, something like that, something dramatic like that. And he wants to just abdicate his piece of the throne to his twin brother, but tradition dictates that no, they have to fight it out in a big public duel thing. So he decides, okay, yeah, I'll beat my brother at this thing, and then graciously give it to him anyways. And no, he gets his ass beat by his twin brother and loses it legit, and that completely flips his just world around. He had always been comfortable with not having the throne because it was his choice to not have it, but as soon as he failed to get it and it wasn't his choice anymore, he became kind of obsessed with, I'm going to get a throne and I'm going to make it mine. But part of the whole, being exiled because he's a threat to the line of succession means he gets shipped off halfway across the world to Waterdeep with just a pocket of gold and a
crazy dream.
Yeah, pocket of gold, a crazy dream, and a hey, don't come back.
Yeah, nice. I like it. Okay. So have you been? Do you think you've been in the city long, or like a couple of weeks, couple of months?
That I'm not sure on, because if he's there too recently, then it's long and hard. Correct. If he's there too, recently, that it runs into the whole, oh, I'm new here. What is this street kind of newcomer kind of thing? So I'll end up him being there for a little while and trying to kind of get a foundation there, try and get some connections, and not having too much luck at it until fairly recently.
Okay.
Has he been in?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, has he been in town just long enough to lose all of his money?
Yeah, I'm thinking like he got like a good allowance of, hey, go start your new life somewhere money, and he's down to the nitty gritty last of it, appropriate for level 1 characters. Fortune.
What do you mean, Ryan? What has happened so far?
Oh, sorry, I was gone. I had to take a call.
Oh, okay.
I missed everything.
Oh, it's okay.
We were talking about backstories. Yeah. I talked a little bit, and then Susan, and we're just starting to figure out how they're connecting to each other.
I think he's been in town long enough to where he's made some connections. I like the idea of him kind of, when he's first in the town, being a little more out of his depth than he was expecting, because even though he's used to kind of slumming it up with the common people, he's not used to Waterdeep. So the idea of him kind of getting like another Tabaxi, like taking like some pity in him and kind of like showing him how to not get killed by the Xanathar instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this other Tabaxi could maybe secretly be a Harper. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me use that opportunity to talk a quick bit about the factions, because they're a good way of sort of like anchoring your character. They're sort of a good inspiration for backstories. Let's see. Handout here. Here we go. So Waterdeep has like the big 5 factions that are in every fucking Forgotten Realms setting. You have the Harpers, like Kyle was just talking about, who are essentially secret agents. They're dedicated to protecting the world against tyranny, bringing down tyrants, despots, spreading freedom and whatnot. But they do it from the shadows. They have a lot of bards. They have a lot of wizards. They really hate the fucking Zentara. Harper's pretty cool. They're even though they're good aligned, there is enough sort of wiggle room with the Harpers and sort of the shady realms they have to work in that you could honestly probably play a neutral or maybe even evil Harper depending on their tactics and how ruthless you want to be. You have the Emerald Enclave, who are the Druid people. They believe in protecting nature. That's their thing. They're
Fucking
for druids.
hippies.
I know. You have the Order of the Gauntlet. That's the Paladin faction. That's pretty much literally what it is. It's followers of the various good deities coming together to smite evil. They're a lot more firebrand about it. I'd say more like religion. I'd say more like fucking evangelicals, but sure. Crusaders.
Fucking hippies.
Fucking Jesus hippies. You have the Lord's Alliance, which are the exact opposite of hippies. They are the government.
Fucking hippies.
It's the It's the Confederation of cities that are under that. A lot of the cities that are along the Sword Coast. So basically, most of the big cities in the north are members of it. So Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter, Silvery Moon, Waterdeep, all that shit.
Can I be part of the government?
Yeah, you could be. You could be a member of the Lord's Alliance if you want to. The Lord's Alliance, the Lord's Alliance is weird in that each of the member states kind of like jockeys for position within it, and its various members of even within the same city kind of jockey for position. So there's a lot of backstabbing in the Lord of Alliance of trying to climb the ranks.
Like government.
Just like government. And they have no problem using field operatives.
So if you want to play lawful evil, that's your route right there.
That you can be. Yeah, that is a good place to do lawful evil. The Zentarum is the other one, because the Zentarum is it's a shadowy group. It specializes in mercenaries, and truth be told, a lot of legitimate trade. The Zentarum does a lot of above the board shit. That being said, if you cross them, they will try to buy you out. Or first they'll ask you nicely, then they'll try to buy you out, and then they will break your fucking legs. And that's kind of how they do. They do have kind of an overarching idea of they want to spread. They want to be in places of power wherever they are. But they also do a lot of sort of legitimate. There is a legitimate business element to them. That being said, the Zentarum weren't always that way. And they do have a well-deserved reputation of being some pretty brutal dudes. So there's that.
Can my character be a drug dealer?
Yes. I have no problem with that.
What kind of drugs would I sell?
I will allow you to come up with your own fantasy drugs if you want. I could come up with some of them. But those are the classic five. In addition, you have the City Guard, which is the army that protects Waterdeep, and the City Watch, who are the cops. You can be a member of either of those. The City Watch is probably the better choice, I would say, because it allows you to move throughout the city. You have the Xanathar Guild, which is the number one crime syndicate in Waterdeep. The leader is a beholder, but that is not well known.
We know that. The characters don't know that.
Right. None of your characters would know that, but
the players.
He's on the fucking cover, of his own fucking book.
Yeah.
And so yes, he does love his goldfish, Silgar. It is his most prized possession, which is a problem because goldfish don't live very long, but Xanathar doesn't know that. So there is a member of the Xanathar's Guild whose job it is to constantly replace that fish.
I'm gonna eat that fish.
Maybe that'll be Charlie's job one day.
One can only hope. And then lastly is actually a faction that some of you, especially Kyle, might want to perk your ears up to because it's the Grey Hands. And the Grey Hands are they are pulled from the ranks of the City Watch, and also like people who sort of prove their loyalty to Waterdeep and their ability to get results, shall we say. The Grey Hands work for the Blackstaff, who is the city's like archmage. Incidentally, she is actually not the most powerful spellcaster in the city, but she has that like political position. Her staff is also OP as shit. But anyway, her staff is OP and sentient, so there's that. But the Blackstaff will like pull the Grey Hands to do various jobs for her. They might be, fetching things. It might be dealing with problems in the city, stuff like that. But if you're a member of the Grey Hands long enough and you distinguish yourself enough, you can get what's called the Grey Mark, which notes you as a member of Force Grey, the elite cadre of professional adventurers. Essentially, you are officially sanctioned by the city of Waterdeep to collect bounties, to operate within it. You can use violence in the street, and Force Grey has Force Grey is blind to your race, your class, anything. If you qualify for it, you're in. Exactly. Harshnag the Frost Giant was a member of Force Grey. And Waterdevians are extremely proud of their Force Grey. They love, Force Grey is sort of like their local celebrities. It's a symbol of Waterdevian culture, and they like to pride themselves on their open-mindedness because of Force Grey. If you want to earn fame and renown in the city, Force Grey is a good way of doing it.
Okay.
And the sanction to use violence in the streets is pretty handy too. So there's that.
I have a question in that regard. How prevalent is the City Watch in terms of violence in the streets? Does it just never happen because there are so many? The City Watch is so prevalent, or are there violence, more seedy spots that shit goes down? Or how's that function in Waterdeep?
It functions. It functions basically, or it functions very much dependent ward to ward. If you're in Dock Ward, if you're in Field Ward, the cops are there. They're going to be better armed. They might not actually enforce the law that much. There is a lot of there are a lot of dirty cops in Waterdeep, especially in the lesser, well-off parts of town, Southern Ward, stuff like that. But once you get into Trade Ward, once you get into Castle Ward and above that, what you're looking at is more or less the streets are safe, even at night. It's kind of like New York at night, where it's probably not the best idea to go to every part of town, but in general, it's not the most unsafe place ever.
Related to
Seaward at night is probably very safe, but if you start shit in the streets, if you cause enough commotion, even in Dock Ward, you're gonna get hit. And the City Watch are not they're not 1/8 challenge rating guards. Their baseline is CR3 veterans, and there's always at least 4 of them.
So what you're saying is we aren't going to run into a lot of random combat in the campaign, but we can technically start combat at any time in the game because of doing just stupid shit and trying
to break things. What you're saying is we gotta be plane shifters, and then we gotta shift to a different plane. No, we gotta be plane shifters. We shift to another plane with the bad guys, kill them, and then shift back.
We
just always need an exit strategy for for conflicts. We just always need an exit strategy to get out of there before the cops get around.
Can't fight a guard if the guard's not in there.
Yeah, if you get into combat in the streets, you need to either find a way to get the guards involved. You need to find a way to get away when the guards show up. You need to find a way to prove that they started it. You are allowed to defend yourself. You can carry weapons in the open. You cannot draw your weapons, though. If you draw your weapon without just cause, you will be fined. And truth be told, even if the cops show up, if nobody's dead, you'll probably be okay. You'll have to pay a fine. You're gonna have to get your papers processed and shit like that.
Pay a fine.
Yeah.
We can act like.
Here's the thing, though. If we bribe an official, we're facing exile up to 20 years and a fine up to double the bribe amount. So,
be
exiled for 20 years. That's no good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, let me. Thank you for bringing that up. I'll show you the code legal here. Yep.
Ooh.
Josh.
What about arson? What's arson do?
I think that's pretty. I think that's a pretty bad crime. What's up?
Arson. Death or hard labor?
Huh.
What's up, Charlie?
Does the city guard ever recruit monstrous races?
Yes, they'll recruit monstrous races.
Okay.
City guard and watch will recruit monstrous.
Have you seen Trundle in his? Do you play League of Legends?
No,
Trundle in his cop skin?
No.
That could be the bugbear.
I just imagine because of the way hobgoblins are, I imagine a lot of them are city guard.
I could see a lot of them being city guard, city watch. Especially in like Dock Ward, Southern Ward, totally.
Right.
That being said,
kind of policing their own.
Yeah. That being said, again, like if violence starts in the streets, you're gonna need to find a way to talk your way out of it, to bribe officials, to get away, stuff like that. I don't plan on I say I don't plan on there being a lot of combat in the streets, but then again, I can't guarantee that. And again, I don't know what you guys will do. That being said, just be aware of the fact that combat isn't going to always be your best option.
I have a question.
Yes, what's up?
Is there a sewer?
Yes, there is. Yeah, there actually is a very extensive sewer network underneath the city. And that is a good place to have a rumble. If you can talk the guys fighting you, maybe you guys can dip into the sewer and solve your problems there. A big thing about Waterdeep, especially in the poorer areas, is they don't want violence in the streets. In the streets. You go into that warehouse. You go into the warehouse.
Boy.
People might look the other way. People are less likely to call. Stuff like that. They want the trains to run on time. They want money to flow, but they don't want a lot of like commotion and disruption of that. So keep that in mind.
Sit.
Let's see.
What's our kind of goal? I guess for like most campaigns, it's Storm King's Thunder, we're killing giants, and like Prince of Apocalypse, we're trying to destroy all the princes. But what's
Waterdeep Dragon Heist, or Shadows over Waterdeep? It's a treasure hunt. There is a giant cache of treasure hidden somewhere in the city. There are various factions trying to get a hold of it. You guys are trying to hopefully beat them to it, either for your own personal gain or just to keep that money out of their hands, because each of the various nefarious characters who are trying to get that money, we are going to use it for some sort of terrible thing.
Question about those nefarious factions. I know the book is.
What are you doing? You're cooking the whole house.
I know you can take.
Okay.
Charlie, mute yourself. Anyway, you barbarian. What were you saying?
Sorry.
So I know the book is said to where you can pretty much pick a season, and that picks your like main antagonistic force they're going to counter in the city. Are you running it that way, where it's one, or are you just doing the where you push them all together?
I'm pushing multiples together. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of them, and I'm definitely like adding in a few of my own. And a lot of it, it's so hard right now because I don't know what you guys are going to do. And what I'm thinking is I'm going to like have a lot of factions initially, and your choices early on are going to start winnowing away some of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's at least 3. I can guarantee you there's at least 3. So let me because that's a good segue into let me talk about a few like what I am planning on sort of doing. And if that doesn't appeal to you guys, let me know. But the idea I have in my head is this is a campaign that emphasizes, there's going to be plenty of combat. I'll promise you, you'll never, if you're spoiling for a fight, you'll always have somewhere you can go rumble. But combat is not the emphasis. Role playing, being a little bit more cunning, creative, trying to solve problems in less direct ways. Is the big emphasis that I was thinking of. A lot of like political intrigue, a lot of secrets, treasure hunting. Like there's a decent element of like pulp action kind of sort of thing. Hang on, these dogs.
I don't want pulp.
You don't want pulp?
Yeah.
No pulp.
I don't like pulp.
No pulp?
In my orange
No
juice.
pulp.
No
Yep,
pulp.
me either. No
Orange
pulp.
juice makes me sick, so no orange juice, please.
No pulp.
Okay. Do you
when
understand?
say pulp? Do you mean like
So pulp fiction stuff like that refers to
Shooting somebody with a gun and then asking them how many shots you shot.
no. Number one, that's Dirty Harry.
Oh. No, isn't that Pulp Fiction?
No, that's Dirty Harry.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about ever.
in this one regard, you do not. But no, Pulp Fiction refers to film noir, like hard-boiled detective kind of stuff. Sort of like think. Oh, you know what? Indiana Jones is actually an excellent example of this. If you've ever seen an Indiana Jones movie, that's pulp action, where it's sort of adventure. It's based on like the old pulp magazines of the 1920s and 30s, where there's sort of like obviously there's no trains, but a fight, like a kung fu fight on top of a train, would be pulp. But basically like a combination of action and adventure sort of going through there. National Treasure. If you've ever seen National Treasure, there's elements of that. Truth be told, Waterdeep Dragon Heist takes a little bit of inspiration from the Da Vinci Code. Things like that. I see we're having a lot of fun with this guy smoking a cigarette or a doobie or whatever it is. Anyway. Let's see.
Who's doing that? Who drew this?
I don't know. Could it be the person with? I have no idea. I don't know who could be doing this. Either way.
I know it's Kyle.
Oh, and there's a little bit of element of mystery. I was planning on doing some sort of elements of like murder mystery or something like that, tracking, like solving puzzles essentially, or solving mysteries.
Nice.
It wouldn't be the focus of the campaign, but there would be like arcs in there.
Okay, guys, we gotta make sure we stock up on lemons.
Lemons are important.
I'm down for that. Not sure why, but I'm down for stocking up on lemons.
We don't want scurvy.
Yar!
Yeah, if we're gonna be spending time in this.
I'm from the docks.
It's National Treasure, guys. Go on. Lemons.
Maybe I'll just be a pirate.
Never saw National Treasure.
Dang it!
I don't.
I don't remember lemons.
Okay. I get. Okay.
Ah.
Gosh.
I haven't seen that movie in a while. Like my mother watches it. I haven't seen it in forever though.
Oranges work too.
No pulp.
No pulp.
No pulp.
No
That's
pulp.
our group name.
No pulp.
No pulp, no problem.
You want extreme pulp? Get the fuck out of my face. I don't want to see you around these parts.
We're being creative. That's what happened.
I see.
Crime against the gods? What does that even?
I'm
Disorderly conduct within a temple. Fine up to 5. Who judges that? What's disorderly conduct? Whipping my penis out?
To answer your question, the person who judges that are called the city magisters. You'll be taken to a city hall, and they do have like guys who will look at the police report and figure out what the fine is.
What if nobody saw you do it?
Then obviously nobody's arresting you.
Exactly. Which means we leave no witnesses.
That is a way of thinking about it. It's either don't get caught or make sure nobody talks, no one squeals.
What does edict mean?
An edict is a law or announcement.
What?
Just another way to say law.
Okay. I'm saying disturbing the peace, fine up to 25, and edict. An edict is like you're on probation. So if you disturb the peace by like taking off your pants and whipping out your dick in the temple, you'll be you might be fined 25 gold, and you're on probation.
From doing that, or like probation?
Yeah, like if you're on probation and you fuck up again, they're
Hello,
going to
my
hit you
name
with
is
a modifier.
Ryan, and I like to whip my dick out in public.
If I catch that dick one more time, I swear to God, literally, crime against God.
Next time I see your dick, I'm going to shoot it off.
This campaign's going to end with our party just going door to door saying, "Hello, we have to introduce ourselves. We're sexual predators in the neighborhood."
You're all sex offender list.
That's a lot of doors.
Wait, yeah, how many doors? Let's count them right now, guys.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, I'm done.
So I was reading like a Reddit thread where somebody was talking about the code legal, and they said, it's funny, and funnily enough, sexual assault is not mentioned in the code legal. So does that mean it's legal? I was like, I don't think that's how that works.
Sounds legal to me.
But using magic to influence the system without consent is on there.
Yes.
Wait, what about this consent? Where's this?
Where?
Using magic to influence a lord without consent, imprisonment up to a year, and fines or damages up to 1,000 gold pieces. Yeah.
So it sounds like you can't do shit to lords, but everyone else is pretty much fair game.
Everyone else is.
It's in the citizens part too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right.
Yeah,
crimes against citizens.
But there's nothing about singing, touch and titty. Doesn't say anything about that, so.
Well, there's assaulting a citizen at the very top of there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's still
what is
assault. Whether you have your pants on or not, it's still assault.
Damn it.
It's not assault if they asked you to do it because you cast charm on them.
I mean,
no, but that's a different crime.
I mean,
actually, it's probably both crimes.
I mean, if you think about it, your body is a temple, so disorderly conduct up to 5 gold.
Right.
All you guys are doing right now is just giving me ideas for when you do fuck up of how that bullshit lawyer who's going to be across the table from you. Oh man, body's a temple. That's a crime against the gods. Oh man, hate to be in your shoes right now.
Yeah,
no joke. I'm actually kind of stoked for a big dumb trial where a lawyer just lists out everything wrong we did.
Like I really hope that you guys do get busted, and I will do a trial scene. If you guys do get busted, I will do a trial scene, and you guys will have to defend yourselves in court.
Oh, I know. It's your campaign, and this will kind of railroad it a bit. But I kind of love the idea of the first session just starting with us all in a big jury room with the lawyer coming out and saying, it just starting, and then it flashes back to the actual beginning of the campaign.
Hey, honestly, if you guys want to do that, and we all have the agreement that we will eventually get to that point, I'm okay with that. As long as we all agree to the fact that, at some point, we're going to get busted with something.
That does railroad it a little bit. It would be a really fun cinematic scene, but that does kind of lock us into, we all have to get captured at some point.
We have to never get captured. That's the goal.
Depending on what, just how you guys go about it, odds are you're going to get captured.
Dude, we just burn the whole town down and see what happens.
You can try that. You can definitely try that. I won't tell you no. But
as an architect, I will tell you that not all facets of the town will be burnable. And that will still be something
if
left
your fire is hard,
try and hang us in.
That's
Magic fire
information.
Beams.
It can't melt steel beams.
What was it you were telling me, Charlie, about pigs? Like pigs burning?
Oh yeah, in the Middle Ages, what they would do. So, whenever they were holding a siege against a castle or something, they had sappers that would dig under the walls. What they would do, they weren't always trying to make a tunnel to get people underneath the wall. They would just tunnel under the wall, fill that tunnel with pigs, light it on fire, and the pig fat would burn so hot that it would heat the stones enough that the whole wall would crumble.
Wow.
And also you'd have breakfast afterwards, so win-win.
Good plan.
So there you guys go. If you ever need to get into a stone building and you have enough pigs, you have a way.
We're bringing that back. If we need to bring it to a place, we're bringing up we're bringing up the pig plan. If we need to get it someplace, I guarantee it.
Code pig.
Where there's a pig, there's
Eric,
a
are
way.
you doing that now?
What?
Are you all defacing my beautiful map here? Of course you are. There we go. Oh, good. He's got spike hair now.
Dude, this guy's looking fucking sexy.
That he's looking for the grand champion.
Is that Ryan's goblin?
Yeah, that's what he looks like verbatim.
So Ryan, after all this conversation, do you have a more of an idea want to go with?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe my family has ties to the Zentarum, but my character's not officially tied to them, and he sells drugs. That's what I got so far.
Okay, yeah, that could work.
I would have bought some of those drugs at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, you could definitely be at the Yawning Portal.
If you're at the Yawning Portal, I'm gonna try and buy some drugs.
It's ecstasy.
I imagine my character will probably be like whining and dining Eric's character just to get some little bit of influence.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Can I make up like a bunch of different drugs? How many can I make? What's the limit here?
Let's see.
Limit me, or it'll never be limited.
You can make.
Can there be magical effects? Can I put like a DC?
No. We're gonna say they're purely mundane for now. But you can make up 6 drugs. There you go.
Just the names, or can I put? Like,
yeah, if you want to come up with the effects, if you want to come up with the effects, I'll let you.
6 drugs. Let's go.
This is nice because part of my master plan is getting our rave club and just getting the common folks' favor by giving them as much booze and drugs as we can afford.
Yeah.
So
one of them will be roofies, so it'll work.
What I'm hearing is Ryan's gonna be the guy selling Molly at the fucking front door. Susan's doing the pyrotechnics and the fog machine.
I'm kind of in an alleyway, you know. Next.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Right. Eric's character probably owns the fucking place. You're running it, Kyle, and Charlie's the bouncer.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, well,
so that Charlie had mentioned
no
this.
drug dealers are getting in unless they're kicking up the Zenithar.
I was actually going to bring that up. So, like, the Zenithar are the biggest crime syndicate in Waterdeep. Just how brazen are they? Like day one of opening up a shop, you've got a Zenithar already knocking on your door. Like just how quick are they to move in on people, and how brazen and open are they about it?
If you're in Dock Ward, if you're in Southern Ward, they're probably going to be a bit more brazen. Probably not day one, maybe first week. Sea Ward, you're probably good. North Ward, maybe. Who knows how you got the money to get into North Ward? North Ward's a lot of new money. Trade Ward, I'll tell you right now, there are parts of Trade Ward that do get shook down. Castle Ward, no, they're not in Castle Ward. The Xanathar Guild is like the worst kept secret in Waterdeep. Everybody knows that they're there. And there's sort of an understanding between the Xanathar and the Open Lord. They don't like the fact that each other exist, but it's too much trouble to try and root out each other. So there's sort of a don't cause too much trouble, and we're not going to cause too much trouble for you kind of thing going on there. That being said, if the opportunity arises, or if the Xanathar Guild does get too far out of hand, the Open Lord probably would bring the hammer down, and she is more than capable of doing that. But when you talk about moving in on day one, that does bring up one more thing I should mention, is in addition to all of these crime lords, the nobles, the and all this shit, your racial politics, there are guilds. There are a lot of guilds. If you can think of an industry, there's probably a guild for it. Drugs doesn't have a guild.
Is there an actors guild? A guild of actors?
There actually, I think there might be. Hang on, let me.
Well, I probably have tried to get in, but they don't like me very much.
Is there a poetry guild?
There might be. Are
there brothel guilds?
Maybe. Let me check. Truth be told, drugs and brothel guild would probably fall under the domain of the Xanathar. They probably have a hand in anything that's going on like that. Maybe the Zentarum. The Zentarum aren't as prevalent in Waterdeep as you might think, but they are here and they do have a presence.
We're talking like
Street sweepers have a guild. Bakers have a guild. Everybody has a guild. You're saying, Kyle?
You get a guild.
I was about to say the Zins, like after your description of them earlier, like they kind of align with my character's ideals a little bit, though on the more malicious side. Like I can see him getting along with Zins.
Okay.
Potentially, but also see him getting along with Harper's a little bit also. So he was kind of stuck in the middle there.
You could be a double agent.
Yeah.
Ooh, hot.
Yeah. Nothing says you can't join multiple factions. A lot of the factions are not mutually exclusive, and even the ones that are, as long as people don't know about it, they aren't necessarily. Well,
like one like backstory. Like I noticed, like in the post about backstories, you can want us all to have like a certain NPC kind of connection. Like I definitely like the idea of my character kind of first coming to the city, not knowing it, and kind of falling under the wing of a tabaxi that's already been living there for a while, and that tabaxi either secretly being a Harper, or secretly being a Zint, or just secretly being more big time than she would initially appear as. I'm just not sure whether she would be a Zint or a Harper. Maybe that could be something. Maybe something you decide. I don't know.
That works for me. I can come up with something. Let's take a look here. But yeah. So the thing you need to understand about these guilds though is like things don't get done if the guild that is in charge of it doesn't want it to. You can in theory like repair, like if you guys were to get your own bar and your roof is leaking, you could repair it yourself, and you'd get in a lot of trouble with the Roofers Guild because there is a Carpenters, Roofers, and Plasterers Guild. You better go to the guild if you need work done like that, and you're going to be charged more for it. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Here we go. The most excellent order of weavers and dyers. So there we go. Sailmakers have a guild. Yes, Charlie.
So how would a Brewers Guild feel about a bugbear operated a brewery that is pretty openly run by the Xanathar?
It depends. Like I could see it going one way or the other. I could see it being you're a problem and they don't like it. But at the same time, the Xanathar gives you enough protection that they don't act against it. That being said, that operation almost certainly has more hiccups than it would normally. Truth be told, there's probably only a few inns in the city outside of sort of quote unquote Goblin Town where they would accept your drinks, your product.
That's part of like the thing I'm thinking is like, what if it's like secretly one of the best beers in town, but nobody wants to admit it, but still everybody's drinking it.
Okay.
Like I'm delivering it to back doors, but as soon as goes inside the door, whoever runs the shop is relabeling it and selling it as something else.
I like it. Just so you guys know, yes. In fact, actually, there's a council of musicians, instrument makers, and choristers, which would fall under actors and poets.
Nice.
So yes, actually, no, they do. There is a guild for that.
All right, I'll have to think of how I'm related to them.
Okay.
Wait, there's a guild for what? Huh?
Actors, acting.
There is an actors guild.
I would like to revise my backstory.
Okay.
Well,
no, you're not allowed.
I was thinking that well, initially I was thinking my only real aspiration for my character was to be like a great boxer. But I think he wants to be a great Xanathar boxer, but he also wants to be the first bugbear to join Force Grey. Okay, I like that. The first goblinoid to join Force Grey.
I like that.
Do they already have one though?
No. Now if we don't want them to, then no. Okay. So we've got a chicken with eggs, and we've got this monster and the bunnies.
There's a lot going on now. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a tower of bunnies. Cute.
I'm sure Susan did not draw that at all. That's
the tower of bunnies shooting a bazooka at a monster.
Yeah, at a monster. Yeah, I like it.
And this guy is just loving it.
Oh man, what am I looking at, dude?
high.
Like, how high am I? Oh my god.
There's like bunny shooting a rocket at a monster, man.
So yeah, this is what we do, Charlie. We just draw. Well, the DM talks. I've never been on this side of it, but
Guys, I'm just on Discord on my phone, so I have no idea what's going on.
oh yeah, okay, that's
On
right.
real
Yeah, trust me. I'm going to leave all this art, quote unquote, up for the first session, so you can see it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Just
Jesus.
let you know, Eric drew the dicks. Okay.
What?
Eric.
Not this time.
What? There's dicks?
No, I
Where?
mean for when the dicks were drawn on the Mather, it was Eric.
Eric.
What?
It was Eric. He admitted
So
to it.
change the subject.
So wait.
Brian,
Yeah,
Or-
I want to hear about your guys' backgrounds one more time because I missed it all. How are we gonna tie this together with my character? Your character's an actor.
Let's get Eric's question real quick, and then we'll do that.
yeah, I was just gonna say, do you have an idea of like what class you're gonna play or anything, or are you
Ranger.
Ranger?
Mm-hmm.
And,
Beastmaster, right? Sorry.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, because you wanted a pet frog.
Yeah, I want a giant frog.
That's a good pick again. That's a solid pick.
Would you be doing like a ranged ranger or a melee ranger? Do you know?
Melee.
Okay.
I think
Is
that
that
works
bad?
with this.
Rangers
I
are tanky.
think that's good because Susan's ranged.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be very fragile,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah, my frog's gonna be kind of tanky, I think.
Okay.
I'm going to be very tough.
Yeah,
you're
are you
playing
still
a
thinking
fighter?
about doing? Are you still doing brute fighter, Charlie?
Yeah, unless somebody else wanted to be a fighter. Thing is, I have at least a dozen different ideas that would fit perfectly into this campaign, so I can fill pretty much any niche that the party needs other than healer.
Okay, it sounds like we do need a fighter, so I think you're solid.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I'm happy. I'm happy to stick with Ezo.
Okay, so brute fighter bugbear. That's what I'm hearing.
And my guy is looking to likely be either a mastermind rogue, a swashbuckler rogue, or curveball, some kind of warlock.
I like the idea of maybe working into warlock. That's usually my favorite sort of thing to do.
I do like the two, and I've been looking up like a.
Charlie can attest to that. In our other game, where like
He's-
almost the entire party is warlock.
Yeah, Josh does a really good job of enticing / forcing you to multi-classing into warlock.
I mean, it's like the most fun narrative-wise
Mhm.
to multi-class.
Oh,
into,
yeah.
I feel like.
Because it's an actual like active event that kind of causes it to happen usually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlie did make the comment earlier, and he is absolutely right. Any pact you make is a pact with me, and it's just like your actual patron is just flavor. So just be aware of that. And unlike what Ryan said, Artemis is not Satan. Josh is Satan. So just be aware of that.
Oh man.
And his
Yeah, that's
first
it,
PC
being
was
a
a
rogue.
warlock.
Yeah, I'm a warlock in real life. So okay, so we got ranger, bard, fighter, artificer, and probably rogue. Okay, so so it looks like party wise, and because artificers have a little bit of healing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Bards definitely have healing.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like we've got like rangers can even. So okay, yeah, we've got a good party balance here. So we don't have to worry about that.
We have
potentially
emergency
do-
heals if we need
Yeah.
to.
I could potentially do arcane trickster if we need some more like spell utility.
I think we might be good. We'll see. But truth be told, that will be level 3, so we'll have plenty of time to see
Exactly.
what
Yeah.
how the party's functioning then. So we got that. So let's do what was Ryan was asking. Let's go back through our character ideas so we can try and hash this out. Okay. Eric, how about you start it off?
Okay, so my idea.
Hold on, sorry to interrupt real quick.
Yeah.
When we go over our character ideas and backgrounds, can we also introduce who we're thinking of our NPC contacts?
Absolutely. That's perfectly fine.
Right. So my character idea is for a noble who is, second or third sibling, so has really no responsibility, and has just been spending his life carousing the streets and going to different bars, and really likes to perform. Is very energetic and charismatic, and gets really caught up in being seen. The way he's seen is very important to him, so he gets caught up in kind of noble shenanigans and positioning and posturing, but also is kind of blends with the more seedy elements because he likes adventure and likes to do crazy shit and is always getting bored with the nobles, even though he enjoys their games. But recently in his life, his brother, who was heir to the family, something has happened to him. I'm yet to kind of decide, and it's something that my character's not going to know very much about. I'm going to leave that one very open-ended. But something has happened to his brother, and he is now kind of been sat down by his parents, and they're trying to get him more into the family business and preparing him to possibly inherit the family business. And so he is at the inn where we're starting, just getting drunk and trying to. All this happened very recently, within the last week or 10 day, and so he's just out on a bender, and is probably interested. His motivations are going to be kind of trying to find out what happened to his brother is definitely part of it, but also he's doesn't want to. He's clinging on to his wild lifestyle, but maybe also trying to make some money now that his parents have kind of reined him in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as NPCs go, character is going to be glamour. Class is going to be a glamour bard. Is the idea. I'm going to start off bard. Glamour is the subclass I'm thinking of. As far as NPCs go, I'm thinking there will be some. I haven't really thought too much about it, but I definitely want him to have some sort of connections to, he would know people in the performing world, or in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I haven't really thought that through all that much. And then also there may be some nobility that he is connected to. Maybe he has someone that his parents send after him to try and keep an eye on him or something, or
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'll have to kind of figure that out and run that.
Yeah, maybe some sort of head butler. Well, maybe not the head butler, but definitely some sort of servant who's occasionally tasked with going out and fetching Master Eric. When he's a bit tardy.
And maybe there's
and of course there's your various family members and stuff like that.
Say that again.
And of course there's the various family members and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I was thinking also maybe there's an older performer person, some kind of eccentric performer who is my idol and maybe trained me in a lot of the stuff that I do.
Okay.
And then for connections to you guys, as we were kind of talking a little bit, I think Susan and my character would have known each other, possibly be maybe not best friends. I think that I would think that you're very things that you do are not very refined, and that would kind of.
Can I throw out? I'm just going to throw out an idea. Perhaps you're related. Maybe not brother and sister. Maybe cousins. Something like that. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah. I'd be down for that. I think I like the fact that we've known each other for a long time. I like that idea, and that
I was actually also
I don't think we would be best friends.
I was also thinking when you were talking about your brother and the screwed up my job thing, maybe the job I screwed up on had something also to do with your brother, and that's also why he's in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That
when I was
sounds
looking
cool in my
at
head.
Bard in Xanathar's, they have some like background ideas, and one of them they're talking about like something really embarrassing that's happened to you. And so one of my things I need to flesh this out in the backstory, but I think I want to write up like what happened on this day that I found out that my brother. And one of the things in that table that really caught my eye was like something went terribly wrong in one of your performances, and your wig caught on fire, and it was like terribly embarrassing. So I'm thinking there's going to be something that like my brother got into something, and like there was some kind of like big commotion, and my wig caught on fire during one of my performances. Well, my brother was something was going on with him backstage, and then he was like taken off, and I couldn't find out what was going on and what happened. But something that I want in my character is that like usually he wears a fancy powdered wig, but now he's like a little bit on edge because all these things have been happening to him recently. So like I have like short, dark hair, and I've been like walking around just with my normal hair, and like whenever I see someone who knows me, they're kind of like, "Whoa, what happened to you, man?" Kind of like look a little bit crazy and a little I'm like having a midlife crisis a little bit.
Okay.
Stopped wearing the powder.
I have Susan put up an idea about what happened to your brother, like some sort of job went wrong or something. Maybe he's responsible. I have an idea too. I'll shoot you a little bit later. It might tie into some things we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, perfect.
But Susan, why don't you go ahead and talk about your character?
So my character also noble. I'm debating on whether like Sea Ward high class noble or like maybe upper North Ward kind of noble, because I was thinking that I would be like the first child, but I don't see her being any part okay with having any responsibility of being the heir to the family or whatever. She would totally just do anything to escape from it. So thinking about that, also don't know if I want to have like older or younger sister, but at least one other sibling kind of deal. Definitely into magic, tinkering, gadgeting, whatever. And I was also considering maybe I'm like you said with the House of Wonders or whatever, maybe I'm friends with a lot of gnomes. I get into a lot of gnome gadgeting fiascos. Anything involved. Maybe I help do for the idea with doing jobs for whatever guild or some kind of faction. Because I work with whatever weapons and magic items. Because I'm like kind of like an eccentric genius. I was thinking also like Ed from Cowboy Bebop a little bit.
I was actually thinking that too the other day. I was like, that kind of sounds like Ed. I hope she kind of goes with that a little bit.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Maybe not as like legitimately insane, but definitely like sort of giving off a vibe like that.
Yeah, I'm like really fucking smart, but also like really fucking weird. People put up with me because I'm good at what I do. But otherwise, I'm extremely obnoxious.
Okay, so it is basically you. An idea maybe is even if you are the first child, you might be like the first child of a noble house, and it's become clear even to your parents that you're not going to be the one who inherits the house because you will just blow it up or turn it into a golem. So maybe there's almost like an element of like you're like at first your character was sort of going off and sort of like running, like either running away or sneaking out to go do various jobs and blow up shit and work for various people. And now it's almost like they're contemplating like just straight up disowning you at this point. And maybe like whatever happened with that last job has something to do with what happened to your sister if something happened to your sister.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And actually that actually all of that could tie together. Like you went out on your last job, your sister went to find you, her arm got blown up for something you did, and now mom and dad are at wit's end with you. something like that.
Yikes.
Maybe an idea.
Maybe she
okay.
died. I don't know. I'm really sad about it because I probably really love my little sister, and it's the only thing that I really care about other besides.
That's a good idea. I could. Oh man, that sounds super sad. And then I have this image of you like. It sounds super sad, and then I could see like your character secretly building like a construct replica of her.
Oh god.
Oh, that's super creepy. I love it.
Getting dark.
Getting dark.
Hashtag dark.
It is called Shadows over Waterdeep.
Yeah. Like my DM style. I put in a lot of humor. I try to be pretty fun, trying loosey goosey. But I get into I get into some pretty dark shit. I'm not afraid to do that. If you guys don't like that, that's if you don't like it, that's fine. We can tone it down. And like when I say dark, it's gonna be like urban, like gritty kind of stuff. It's not like zombies bursting out of the ground kind of thing. But I mean,
Also, you said sentient staff. I was thinking, could I make a giant robot body for the sentient staff?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Everyone has a dream, Susan. You could definitely work towards that.
I need the staff, and I need it in a giant robot body.
Is our first mission as a party to stop Susan?
That's the level.
First villain.
That's the level 20 epic boss fight. Is Susan with her sentient staff just having given her body over to the black staff in her giant mecha body.
Yep.
And you guys have to awaken one of the Stone Guardians to stop her.
Some Evangelion shit.
Yeah.
Giant sexy robot. Yep. Yeah. I need a giant sexy robot. That's what I want.
Okay. Moving on from that. Charlie, why don't you talk about your character? There, Charlie.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was switching from my phone to my computer.
Oh, you're fine.
Also, you guys have devastated Waterdeep already. I feel like our job is done. The harbor is now a chicken.
Game's over, guys.
The great chicken.
Yeah, I think it's time to move on to a different city.
Our job here
Here
is
never
done.
winter's nicest time of year.
The game is now called Chickens Over Waterdeep. Chickens and bunnies.
And bunnies over Waterdeep.
I do like that pile of bunnies. That actually is adorable. So, Charlie, why don't you talk about your character?
All right, my character is Izo. He's a bugbear. He works for his uncle, who is also like a much older bugbear. I also think like his uncle is his contact and like his I guess his NPC contact in the city. And that he is definitely like he's probably upper middle guy in the Xanathar gang. And used to be a great fighter, but then retired to open this brewery with funding from Xanathar. I just like do odd jobs, do deliveries, that kind of stuff during the day, and at night I want to get noticed by Xanathar in a good way. Like I'm not currently a member, but I'm a hopeful. I'm a guy working for a guy that is part of the guild. And I was like, I guess personality wise, I would say my character is like he's very much like he's not going to start a fight, but he'll definitely finish one. And he definitely has like a sense of right and wrong, and will like step in to defend people. But isn't just like he's not when he's like hiring himself out at night. He's not out like cracking skulls. He's more like guarding doors and guarding people like through the town, like that kind of stuff. And he has like the dual desire to like both be this great prize fighter, but also join Force Grey.
Would you say he's like a big heart of gold guy kind of character?
Yeah, and like really believes in like the good of people, but like understands that sometimes you gotta like sometimes like if somebody's gonna punch you, you're gonna punch them back until they can't punch you anymore. I think I don't know. Overall, I don't know. He's like definitely part of a minority in the city and wants to see better by his people, but he's not I would say he's not the kind of person to like be a revolutionary. He's more the kind of like person who's like quietly hopeful things will get better if he like just keeps his head down and like doesn't cause trouble. That things will just like slowly get better over time. But I could see him like in the future becoming like a sort of a hesitant revolutionary.
Okay.
Like get pushed into it.
One of the backgrounds mentions I think it's actually one of the ones Susan's looking at. Red Knuckle Under mentions the Bloody Fist and Lear Red Knuckle, who is in Southern Ward, which is probably where Goblin Town is, and he runs a fight club. Like it's one of the biggest in the city, definitely in Southern Ward. And he actually has a cadre of heavyweight fighters that he keeps as like his hired muscle. So you probably don't work for him, but you definitely have fought at that establishment before.
Yeah.
And you might actually know Susan's character in passing from that. She may have seen you fight or something like that.
Cool. Where do I find that information?
What the background thing?
Your character's backstory.
Yeah, it's on the game page. There's a couple of like folders for it. There's one, your character's backstory.
Oh, I missed that one. Oh, thank you for the link.
Yeah, so when you go to launch the game, there's like this game discussion forum topics, and you can read them.
Yeah, I just launched the game and I don't know how to get out of this part to get back to that part. Here we go.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that,
okay.
Kyle, why don't you go ahead and talk about your character?
So my character is a Tabaxi prince from a faraway kingdom, possibly in Maztica, and he had a twin brother, and they were both heirs to the throne, but unfortunately there could only be one king. So throughout their childhoods, my character had pretty much kind of resigned himself to just kind of abdicating it to his brother, figured he didn't really want to bother with that whole ruling the kingdom nonsense, figured his brother would be better at it anyway, so he just kind of spent his time, dandying about, slumming it with the common folk, getting into fights, stealing stuff. And their father suddenly died, possibly from a political poisoning, and he was ready to just go ahead and let his twin brother have the throne until he found out that tradition dictates that they have to duel over it, they have to fight over it. So he figures, okay, I'm going to win this fight real quick, graciously abdicate the throne to him, and keep on living his kind of indulgent life. But then the duel starts, and oh no, his brother's better at fighting than he is, and he gets his ass kicked. And all of a sudden, it's not him giving the throne away, it's him not being allowed to have the throne, and that changes his viewpoint on it entirely because he is a sore loser. He gets exiled because that's how the little ritual fight is supposed to go. There'll only be one actual heir to the throne, so he gets given a little, relatively paltry amount of gold, a boat ticket to Waterdeep, and a don't come back. So he spent the past few months in Waterdeep burning through little kind of pittance of gold he was given, plotting a way to pretty much get a bigger throne than his brother would ever have, and rubbing it in his face. And when he first got to the city, he's used to the slum-get lifestyle, but he's not used to Waterdeep. So he encounters another Tabaxi, and immediately starts to boss her around. She quickly tells him, like, yeah, you'll get killed if you're doing that. And she kind of helps him kind of acclimate to Waterdeep life, and she is secretly either a Zint or a Harper, not sure which, might be a Josh call, don't know. But yeah, he at this point is just kind of spending his days drinking at the Yawning Portal, trying to suck up to some of the regular nobles, such as potentially Eric and Susan's characters, first trying to think of a way to start his big break of taking over the city, starting from the bottom to the top.
Taking for the city. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Step 1 is getting rid of the big bad gang and replacing it with his good gang and getting the common folk on his side.
So what I'm hearing is that you're innately at odds with Charlie's character. I like it.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that. I mean, it'll be entertaining. I just worry that it might cause too much friction at the start. How do you think it'll shake out?
I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal because number one, there's not necessarily your characters won't necessarily know about each other's allegiances, various factions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So and I suspect your character is going to be adept enough at sort of spinning his own actions that he could, I'm just trying to. I just want to join Xanathar's guild too. We could start our own little street gang and join Xanathar's guild that way.
Exactly.
Because Xanathar, like the Xanathar's guild, it's its own crime syndicate, but it does have like any number of smaller satellite gangs that owe fealty to it that aren't technically part of it. So you might have like a group of like knife wielding street toughs who, pay dues. They aren't members. They don't get the tattoo. They don't get the newsletter and stuff like that. But they are like they do have sort of Xanathar protection. So you could definitely sort of spin it that way.
Okay, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, for session 1, would we have it to where my character has already known Eric and Susan's characters, or would he just now be kind of talking them up, trying to get some noble influence? What do you think would work better?
That's up to the three of you, I'd say.
True.
All I need is you to be at that tavern. So with all of that, Ryan, do you have any more ideas of what you might want to do? Any more concrete things?
Yeah, I thought of some stuff. So I was thinking that maybe, like I was saying, his family has he has family who has he has ties to his family who are in the Zentarum, and or either Zentarum or that other group that you were mentioning, the Xanathar. Not sure which one I'm going to go with yet, but I'm thinking that he's actually not on good terms with them. I don't know why. I don't know what happened there, but I'll probably flesh that out later.
Honestly, if they're working for the Zents or the Xanathar, I could see there's probably good reason for it. So.
Yeah, he's just not on good terms with them for some reason, and so he's just been. I think he's like a middleman when it comes to like selling drugs. He's not really the person who makes them, but he's not the person. He just kind of buys them from the person who makes them, and then he distributes them. So
okay.
So he's probably not even making that much money doing this, or not as much money as he'd probably want to, because he's not the one creating it. He probably had some kind of hard life. I'm not sure yet. I'm looking at like what kind of backgrounds I want, and one of the backgrounds is the criminal, which makes the most sense. And it was talking about how I would have a contact. So I'm thinking maybe one part of my family is still on good terms, and I would still have them as a contact. I'm not sure who, or how, or why, but something like that. And then I also got my giant frog. I think that I'm gonna have him from the beginning. And he's kind of like my horse, He's like the thing I ride, because goblins are small and frogs are medium.
Oh, that's awesome.
The giant frog, would it have lived in the sewers, or is there like a swampy part of Gobbler Town?
I think in sewers. I found him in the sewers, and we just became friends. I'm not sure. I haven't really thought that out, but we'll figure it out. That's what I got so far.
He was green. You were green.
Things just worked out.
His life sucked. Your life sucked.
He was a gay frog.
So I was worried about like the class distribution. I don't mean like gameplay class distribution, but like social class distribution. I was worried that we're going to be a little noble heavy, but with 2 people being nobles, 2 people being lower class, and my character kind of was once a noble, but is in this city kind of destitute. That kind of puts it like exactly even. So
yeah, I like it. Yeah, that's a good distribution. I love the fact that nobody's middle class. I don't know why I thought anybody would ever be middle class.
If we needed a hard caster, my hard caster idea is solidly middle class.
It's way too addicted to drama due to middle class.
Yeah.
And I was like desperate to get out of there that they hang around with all the poor people. I love it. So Ryan, did you have any idea or Ryan, did you have any ideas on how you connect to any characters or any of the other player characters?
I was thinking
or did how you might connect to Ryan?
Yeah, I was thinking I sell drugs to Eric's character, of course.
Oh yeah,
of course.
He's a
Send me that list ASAP so I can pick my faves.
They're actually meeting at the Yawning Portal too for more.
Yeah, that's
I'm definitely. The second I see you, I'm coming to you for some drugs.
Yeah,
Eric has a fucking full list of drugs. Like
I'm your guy.
Like every time he sees you, you better have these drugs in this quantity.
I'll have 3 new ones by the time when you come up.
We'll discuss my usual before the session starts.
As Ryan's character's walking in, I'm in the middle of talking to Eric's character about how I was deposed from my throne, but I have so much gold waiting for me back there, and all I need is a kind factor.
I'm a Nigerian prince.
I gotta go real quick. I just saw a guy.
I would say that I probably sell next to the Yawning Portal all the time, so I probably see Kyle's character. Okay. I don't know if we would have said anything to each other, but I've definitely seen him a couple of times and tried to sell him something. Maybe he bought it, probably not. I don't know what Kyle's character does, but yeah.
I would say he probably bought some.
We could have grown up on the same street.
Yeah, that could happen too. Yeah, Goblin Town, so we've probably seen each other passing by. I don't know if we would know each other, but...
Well, you could be like the shorty and the big guy, classic duo.
I like the idea of like in a big city, Goblins staying close. Goblins gotta watch each other's backs.
Yeah, Charlie. Actually, we know each other's names, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Charlie and I were kicking. Yeah, Charlie and I were kicking around some ideas that the goblinoids hang around with each other, and there's possibly like a not a literal concept, but a sort of social concept of everybody is your cousin, or that you have an extended family of goblinoids who are close to you, and you would refer to them as your cousins, almost like it is an ethnic minority, sort of like think Russian Jews, stuff like that. Yeah, Italians. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when Josh and I were talking, at one point I just was like, "Wait, are the goblinoids the Jews of Waterdeep?"
I was thinking my character would be like the Italian of Waterdeep. Like that's the kind of voice I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah. When we were talking about
either way.
Yeah, either works. Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea of this Italian Italian goblin selling drugs and shit. What is being drawn on this map? Is it a lion with? It's a lion, of course. A lion.
Who's doing
it? If only. Gee, I wonder who's doing it. Yeah, exactly.
It's me.
the one violently offended that I don't know what she's drawing. So we've got okay. It sounds like everybody's got ideas for their character and how they might be connected. You're all big people. I believe you can all sort of hash that out over time as you sort of think about it a little bit more.
Yeah, we can message each other for more detail.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I'll throw a couple of these things out. You've heard about the neighborhood surrounding the Yawning Portal has had a lot of robberies lately. You don't know a whole lot of the details, but there have been robberies going on, and another big event that's kicking around the city. And I'll probably post this in chat to remind you guys. But it's there has been a serial killer recently stalking Dock Ward, going by the name of Lantern Man.
Sorry.
What?
That's a funny name. I don't know.
Okay. Well, the Lantern Man has been stalking around Dock Ward.
What is his MO? Why is he the Lantern Man? Would we know that?
People see all the newspaper reports are saying that when the bodies turn up, like people reported seeing bobbing lights, like somebody carrying a lantern. but they're carrying it through Dock Ward in the middle of the night. And it's unusual for that to happen because Dock Ward is unusually dark for Waterdeep. Waterdeep at night, they do have like lamplighter guilds. They have street lights. Seaward even has like magical powered street lamps. But Dock Ward has the unique problem of people will steal the candles out of all the street lamps. They take the glass and they take the candles because they're too valuable. So Dock Ward at night is very dark. So people walking around with lights draw an awful lot of attention. And a lot of people report seeing bobbing lights right before the bodies turn up. And the bodies always have a bizarre symbol carved in.
So the serial killer is targeting the poor.
Me.
Great.
Something like that.
All right, gotta sub the serial killer and make sure everyone knows that we did it.
Well, I don't know if that's our business. Maybe we could this is giving me inspiration that we could write a play about it, and I could see it now.
We'll write a play
Lantern
how
Man
we did
cometh.
it.
The Lantern Man cometh. Yes, who said that? That's a great idea.
Lantern Man. Damn it! Now I'm gonna have to watch that now. Anyway. Okay. So let's see. Was there anything else? One of the he's probably killed a goblinoid or two. He hasn't specifically targeted goblinoids. He's targeted people in Dock Ward. Lions do not go meow. God damn it. Anyway.
Oh fuck.
Once I eat Xanathar's goldfish, I'm gonna say goldfishes, so delicious, meow bitch, backflip out of there.
That will never come back to bite you.
I'm gonna eat that goldfish. It's gonna happen.
We've never had it.
So let's see. One of the things I'm going to add here, it may be its own like folder or something like that, is over the course of the campaign, I will put, I'm probably going to call it extra, but it's going to be a collection of newspaper headlines. So if you guys are ever curious as to things that are going on in the city, if you're ever curious for plot hooks, I can imagine at the very least, Kyle's character buys the daily paper. Just to
I definitely read the dailies. I always get wonderful ideas.
You get the arts and leisure section.
We talk about it over coffee. We split one paper because I'm really running out of money.
Mm-hmm. You know what?
I probably listen to older hobgoblins read it.
I just find it at the dump whenever.
Actually, Charlie just made a good point. Like the poor characters. Can you guys read?
Of course.
Charlie, can your character read?
I would say probably enough for business.
Okay, functional literacy. Okay,
and that's slowly.
Maybe Ryan's character reads the newspaper, then reads the news to him. I don't know.
That would be a cute scene.
Yeah, if you pay me.
Got less cute.
Less cute.
It's cute for goblins. Hey, big guy. You want me to read the paper for you?
I'm sure that I probably...
That'll be $4.
I probably make it sound cooler than it is. Like, I'll embellish it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Just lie.
Basically just lie, yeah.
I like it. Let's see.
I was thinking, why would our 5 characters come together as a group?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that too. Like, what makes them stick? Well, I guess we'll find out when we play.
I'm thinking the most prevalent thing here is definitely going to be money.
Well, here's the thing. So Josh said, we just need to have an idea of getting them to the yawning portal. I think things will happen, and we'll follow those. But
hopefully.
But I think we all have enough similar motivation to like make money and reputation or whatever. You know, like we have enough in common. I feel like we're definitely more of making money than like doing good, though. At least to start off, that seems.
That is definitely true. I think your initial sort of interest might be mercenary in nature. And for some of you, I could see maybe like Susan's character is a adventure, like there's shit going on. I want to do things, so go out and do them. I get like Charlie's character has a sense of social justice. I hate saying those words together, but whatever. I know
I've never had a character with a sense of social justice before.
This is very true. You guys have no idea. Like Charlie has a moral, ethical code. As a character, is like very strange to me right now. I don't know what's happening. I don't
do you usually play like very like what characters do you usually play?
My last character was a sort of a barbaric, former barbarian monk, whose morals were based on like essentially like clannish us and them. Whatever we need to do to survive and protect our own is good. Anything that threatens that is bad. Violence is okay in all situations.
You know how we're trying to like stop the elemental princes from crossing over? Charlie's tribe worships them.
Oh, fun!
Yes. As angry gods that must be supplicated. So, if that gives you any sort of idea, he burned a church down by level 3, and has proceeded to burn a building in every town they visited since. So,
there you go. Yeah.
So again, the idea that Charlie has any sort of sense of justice is very strange to me. But anyway, yeah, if you guys get to the Yawning Portal, I'm pretty sure I can get you all out the fucking door some way. Somehow, yeah. I mean, you've got serial killers on the loose. You've got mysterious robberies going around. Potential for making money. I think I can get you out the door. So, if not, work with me. Yeah.
With me. Please, don't derail.
Please help.
Not episode 1.
Not episode 1. I mean, honestly, if you jump the rails hard enough, I can run with it. It's like but there's like this gap between like if you go 90 degrees off, I can do that. But if you go 45 degrees off, I'm like, fuck. What am I gonna do? Do I try and steer it back? Do I just give up now? I don't know. But yeah, Charlie, you have a question. What's up?
Yes, is all of this a ruse just to trick us into playing Curse of Strahd and not know it?
Honestly, if this did veer,
because that's what you did our last campaign.
I've been curious about Curse of Strahd for a while now, so if it did veer into that, I'd run with it.
I'd go with it.
That's so funny.
I haven't played it yet, so why not?
If you guys go 90 degrees. But yeah, like Charlie was saying, like the last
What's this fog? Like what? Did we walk in?
We ran.
We followed the Lantern into the fog, and we ended up.
We were 8 sessions into our last campaign before they realized they were in Strahd. And I intentionally created like a 13-page character handout like of setting material and stuff like that, just to lead them astray. Like, here's the homebrew campaign.
Yep.
Here, there's all these sections of the kingdom. All this shit. Guess what? Session 2. It don't fucking matter. But you don't know that till session 8.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that's pretty great.
So, no, I don't intend to turn it into that. But who knows?
Curse of Strahd here. Let's go.
Speaking of like,
I'm just curious if after the second session we're even going to be in Waterdeep ever again.
Telling you, we could take a boat or walk. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Nobody knows. No one knows the fastest way up that river.
So speaking
boat party,
it's been much debated.
So speaking of like getting off rails and such, I know you mentioned that this was intended to run to level 8, and I know the book is supposed to run to level 5. Is this a matter of kind of stacking in more content in the middle, or is it going to go like past the events that are supposed to be at the end of the book?
I'm thinking it probably goes past it a little bit. It really depends. Like, I can't really answer that because I don't know exactly how. I have an idea of like how the finale kind of goes, but it is very possible that it doesn't go that way. Okay. I could say this much: Waterdeep Dragon Heist ends very abruptly. You get the treasure, and that's pretty much it. Like, you get the treasure, and typically you turn it over to the government. You might end up having to steal it back, but it has a very abrupt ending.
Spoilers.
To it.
We did that money. We're not giving that to the government. Fuck no.
Well, you know, it's interesting because like
fight the government.
Yeah, I feel like it'll depend on what kind of
No, Charlie.
It'll depend on what kind of like hooks we've set up and what kind of obligations we have and shit, like because once we get whatever this treasure is, like that'll be then there's gonna like who have we made promises to, like what kind of shit is out there, it'll be interesting.
You say it now, but when level 8 you know what? I don't want anybody to have any feet. So all of you are paraplegics. You have no feet. No feet, no feet.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I have a frog. He can walk for me.
It's okay. I was planning on having robot legs anyway. The visuals of that sound really cool to me. It's like
I want to be a
off my
Yamcha with a snake's
appendages.
body, so I don't need feet.
I'll have one of you carry me.
You're just a cat head. I'm drawing right there. That's your characters. Just a cat head. With a crown.
Shit, they
one paw.
They rolled with that punch really well. Fuck, gotta take away something else. None of you will all have all your body parts over with.
No personalities. How dare you?
I'm thinking it's gonna be level 8. It may go to level 10 depending on your choices, because like Eric was saying, who knows what the finale looks like when you get to that treasure. Who knows what's going on? Who knows even if you're the one to get? So there's that. I don't plan on it going past level 10, but I'm willing if need be. I
have a quick question.
And who knows? So, does anybody have any more questions? Anything they want to more fleshed out? Yeah, go ahead.
The backgrounds. Can we do like the custom background option? Is that
sure.
Where you kind of like choose two, because I really want to do one of the crafting things. And so with the crafting, that is just like if I have proficiency in calligrapher's tools, I can do that crafting. Correct?
Yeah. Actually, thank God for reminding me. Let me. Has everybody like looked over that, or should I explain it?
I haven't looked over the crafting.
Okay.
No.
Just explain.
Yeah, I've looked through a bit, but
okay. Yeah, I'll give you
to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you some run. So the idea of the crafting system here is there are 6 types of crafting kits: alchemy, brewing, calligraphy, herbalism, poisoner, and tinkering. If you're proficient in those, you start off with some recipes. Once per day, you can sit down and try to craft. When you try to craft, you can choose to either do a recipe that you know, or you could experiment and try and learn a new one. And then it's just pretty much a straight D20 roll. You add your proficiency bonus.
If you're proficient in those tools.
Yeah, if you're proficient in those tools. So if you don't know how to do alchemy, you can't craft alchemical items.
Okay.
Drugs, poison?
No. Poisons are offensive use stuff. Like drug brewing, I think is just going to be a side thing. I think we don't need a system for that. Hopefully,
I think we do.
Well, hang on. Herbalism. We could definitely take herbalism and spin it into drugs if you want.
Yeah, maybe he'll go into that later. I'm not sure how this works, but
again, basically all you need is proficiency in a tool set.
And you probably would like proficiency in herbalism would make sense for you as a ranger as well, and a drug dealer.
Yeah,
dude. I'm a ranger. Like, think of some ranger stereotypical in the forest.
Yeah.
Now think of that in an urban setting.
It's funny. That's actually one of my like backup character ideas. If a line guy wasn't going to pan out, was doing that dog catcher thing I'd mentioned 1,000 years ago of being an urban ranger who just has stray dogs and is flavored as like a swarm of little dogs.
I like it. But yeah, basically all you do is once a day you roll a d20, add your proficiency bonus. There is no bonuses to it. No spells can affect it. No feats affect that. Somebody can help you if they're also proficient in that tool set. So you can get advantage on it. But other than that, there is no way to get a bonus to that at this point.
Okay, so I have a few questions about it. The recipes that are under each different type of crafting right now. Those are the ones we start with.
You
correct?
get to pick 3 out of those.
Okay, and those are all novice level.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Um.
Ooh,
And then
voices
also-
look nice.
When we experiment, you have like a list of other
Yep.
of further ones. Okay.
Typically, when you experiment, I'll give you the rundown of what it does, and I'll end up having probably adjust it here in the document next session. But we'll be able to do that just fine.
Cool.
I see the proficiencies, and if that's the case, what I'll probably end up doing is turning each of these documents into like a list of the various recipes that you have, instead of like all of the ones that have been discovered, just for simplicity's sake. Maybe I'll do that, or maybe I'll just make a sheet for each of you. I don't fucking know. We'll figure that out. But yeah, the system is very simple, but there's a lot of content to unlock with it.
Yeah.
One of the things you should know.
Excited for it.
Yeah, one of the things you should know is there are a few restrictions to it. You can never have more than you can never have more than like your proficiency bonuses worth of the item. So if you have a +2 proficiency bonus, you can have 2 consumable items on your person at any given time. You can choose to sell them for their component costs, so you don't really make any money on it. Or if you use them, but otherwise those slots, quote unquote, are locked until you use those items. So you can't farm it, can't stockpile it. You can't. It's not a system of making money. It's a way for you to spend your money. Let's see. That's about it. There are unique restrictions. Like each system, each kit has its own kind of mini limitation or restriction on it. So each one kind of feels a little bit differently. Alchemy, which is making potions and effects that replicate spells, is really designed for arcane casters because you can invest. You can make like basic items, or you can dump in your spell slots into them to make them more powerful. So if you're an alchemist and you have spell slots, you can theoretically make healing potions for you guys on tap.
I could do that
let's see,
already as an artificer.
True. Yeah, that's true. So there you go. Brewing is all about making beers, teas, juices. Charlie might be interested in that. A lot of their effects are kind of under
that in real life. So yes.
but yeah, they're like very utility based. Like being able to carry more shit. That is something I should mention. I'm not going to do encumbrance rules per se, but I am going to keep like basically if you encounter a bird bath that's very valuable, I'm not going to make you calculate the weight of a bird bath, but it is an issue that you're going to have to try and figure out how to carry a bird bath essentially.
Yeah.
I'm a frog.
If you find like a giant pile of money, the weight of that will probably come to account, and you'll have to figure out ways of transporting that. You have a frog.
And that's okay.
Frogs
can
cannot
carry as if they're a size larger than they are. So boom.
They
So
have
there
a mouth. They have a mouth.
They do.
But it's
You could keep
bigger
all
than the
you
frog.
you could keep your treasure inside your frog, so nobody steals it.
Yeah.
A jet frog's pretty much a living bag of holding, isn't it?
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's
They do acid damage if they swallow, so probably.
So it's just a really bad bag of holding.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you guys are
I
on to
could-
something
It's
there.
not a bag.
I could see like this being his second frog, because the first frog he tried to make into a bag of holding and tried to shove a ladder in there, and that it was sad.
I wouldn't do that to my.
Can the artificer like make a bag of holding? Can they like make certain magic items?
Can
Yeah,
they make
yeah,
everything?
artificers have the ability, like, get free magic items essentially. Bag of holding is an item they
Do you
can
have
make.
a dagger? Here, now to cure wounds dagger. Just stab yourself to heal yourself.
I love the idea of Susan's character making
There's
a
also
bag of
that
holding
too,
using
yeah.
one of Ryan's old frogs.
The damage you would do with the dagger is probably just as much damage as you would heal. It'd be so fucking useless.
That's not how it works, but okay.
So,
Yeah, but
question
it's-
about
that's how I would
the
tell you that it works.
You're a monster. No, don't worry. Don't worry. As soon as you stab somebody, it triggers Cure Wounds, so you can stab anybody you want. They'll be fine.
So, a question about the crafting proficiencies, like the tool proficiencies.
Mm-hmm.
So, Eric asked earlier about like making a custom background so you can get a specific one.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to do that with Poisoner's kit proficiency also? Because I was looking around, it looks like the only way to get it is taking the Assassin subclass or using it in the custom background. Would that work in the custom background?
Yeah, you could do a custom background. There are feats that would let you pick it up as well. But yeah, if you want to do a custom background and pick up a Poisoner kit, I'm perfectly fine. Custom backgrounds are a-okay with me. You all have an idea of like what falls within the parameters of a background. If it becomes a problem, it's not going to be that big of a problem, I suspect, and we'll talk about it. But I really don't think it's going to be an issue.
Okay, cool. Because I was noticing the like exclusivity of it. I was wondering, would it be cheesy to put that in as custom or not? So,
Nope, you're fine.
Cool. And speaking of little custom things, would be cool to like what's your opinion on like reflavoring the appearance of certain weapons? Like I like the idea of having like an ornate kind of like lion's claw thing as an heirloom that can be used as like a short sword or a rapier. That would just pretty much just
that is totally fine.
Okay, cool. So yeah, wouldn't be like it'd be like a custom weapon that just has the exact same stats as whatever it's supposed to be.
Yep. I believe Charlie's actually doing that with his I think it might be like a club or something, but he's describing it as brass knuckles.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna have 2 short swords, and I'm not gonna make them anything custom.
I'm gonna have dashingly good looks. And
Hell
that's
yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
What? How tall is your character? What's his hair type? Like, come on.
My guy?
Yeah. How long is his hair?
What's his
It's
blood
pretty
type?
short right now because he usually wears wigs, but we'll see. He's not in
Um,
the mood at the moment, but maybe.
like white
Against
powdered
him.
wigs?
Amongst other wigs.
Oh, okay.
Usually white powder.
Interesting.
Depending on, sometimes he's in the theater.
So I kind of understand what your character's about. Okay.
I'm interested to...
He's really into Anne Rice novels. He's really into them.
If you guys are down, I feel like it would be cool to communicate if any of you are interested in those different crafting options, to communicate like who has proficiency in what.
That we don't overlap.
I mean, we could overlap; it wouldn't be a problem. But
it sounds like no, go ahead.
Definitely taking tinkering.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of given.
And I'm taking brewing.
Yeah, it sounds like everybody's taking something except alchemy. So
I considered
I'm interested
alchemy.
in calligraphy. Yeah, me too. But I think my guy would be like calligraphy. Just fits him very well.
Totally does. Yeah.
This is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So it says here in this crafting little area that there's effects on it. But what does that even mean? Do you have like a page that has
The recipe crafting has the little recipes. Like
So click on
in
poison.
game. Yeah. Do you see the recipe crafting at
it's
the
in
bottom?
game. Okay.
In
I was
game.
wondering where that was. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's towards the bottom of the journal.
Got it.
It's the
There's
recipe
handouts for
crafting.
each
Oh.
The
type.
recipes are in there.
So if you
Yeah.
click on like
Starter
brewing,
ones.
you can see all the different things you make. And their
Yeah,
effects.
and starting off, each of you has 3 of those 5 starting recipes.
Nice. That's awesome.
I'm really gonna reflavor all of this as beer.
That's totally fine.
And pretty cool.
The section above that, Volo's Waterdeep in Kyridian, is a gigantic like document full of everything you could possibly want to know about Waterdeep
Mhm.
perspective of Volo. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. If you ever have time and you just want to flip through it, that's cool. You'll also find I'll add art to that section. You can find like a picture of all the cool coins that they have.
Can I rename
Yeah.
my character Enchiridion?
You can. That's an awfully big name for a bugbear, but you can certainly do that.
Holy cool herbalism.
Yeah,
Yeah, those
herbalism, truth be told, is really good. Like, there's a lot of good shit in there.
Ooh,
It kind of. Oh, I guess that's okay.
the Ranger one's really neat. Is there a bonus for bards? I'm not seeing one in here.
No, not on out of those starting recipes.
For which one?
For herbalism, herbalism items replicate and modify class features.
Oh, so
Paladins
they're all very specific. Yeah.
But where would I even
they
find?
They have a general application, and then they have a class specific bonus. So,
Oh, I see.
if they do aloe, it supercharges their divine sense ability. But if anybody else eats it, they get a minor version of divine sense.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. What were you asking, Ryan?
Don't worry about it. Never mind.
Okay. And the best thing about this is I can give you guys money in the form of crafting supplies. That's not actually money.
Oh man, we're gonna stock up ginger root because that looks awesome for me and awesome for anyone. Being able to disengage his bonus action is sick.
But you can't really stock up though.
That's true.
You can only have 3 at a time. Right?
Yeah, you can have 2 at a time at your first level.
Oh, it's your proficiency bonus?
It's equal to your proficiency bonus. Yep.
Man, whatever drug that Ryan reflavors the ginger root to, I am addicted to that.
Mint sprig is also pretty damn good too. Because you can heal as a bonus, or you can do it as a bonus action. And if you're a fighter, it supercharges your second wind.
So I could for flavor reasons, could I reflavor these herbs to do like drug effects too? Like, not that it would just be like you see shit or something like that, or you feel good. But
yeah, totally.
Yeah, nothing that would change the game mechanically, but
totally.
Make you crazy or something, or
okay,
unable
to.
I don't know, be
awesome.
dysfunctional.
I like it.
This would be your real good shit.
In fact,
this is the
in fact, what I'm going to do right now, Ryan, is I'm going to give you access to the sheet so you can edit that whenever you want. You can add those in. Hey, get out of there. Hang on. So,
okay, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, this crafting seems sweet.
I'm gonna buy some of this ginger root off of you. Mobility. Yeah.
So that's a question I have for Josh: is can we share these things? Like if I make something?
Yes. Yep. So you could share them. But like until that other person burns that's still occupying your slot.
Got it.
Yeah. So at any given time in the party, there will only be 2, say, ginger roots floating around.
And you do this. It's like part of a long rest.
That is correct. Yeah.
Wait, so we just get these, or how does that work? Wait, let me read.
No. During a long rest, you can choose to do a crafting check, which is a straight up D20 roll plus your proficiency bonus. There's no sorts of effects that can modify that. Not even inspiration or the lucky feat or anything like that. And if you meet the DC, you create one of those items. Alternatively, you can choose to experiment and possibly learn new recipes. And over the course of the adventure, your characters may find new recipes hidden in books and under tables, all sorts of places. It gives me it becomes a cute little scavenger hunt for you guys. Complete everything. Go through every drawer, take every potato. If you get just enough calipers, maybe they do something.
Oh, my favorite, breaking pots.
Yeah.
Shut.
Breaking. And again, each item system has its own unique form of limitation. So herbalism, if you consume more than 1 herb after you take a long rest, you're going to gain levels of exhaustion per herb that you take after the first. So if you take 2, you're gaining 1 level of exhaustion. If you start hyping up and just super dosing yourself on like 4 of them, you're gonna be half dead before the day is over. So be careful. Tinkering has yeah, exactly. It's all about dosage, baby. Tinkering has a unique system where it uses slots. But Susan's stuff is cool in that she never has to worry about it. They're technically not consumables because they're permanent. She just has to reactivate them. But they cost a lot more to make, and there are limitations as to how many she can have active at one time.
You're saying I can't have an army of 10 lizards to fuck with people?
Actually, you might actually be able to have, like, not 10, but you'd be able to have, like, 3 or 4 by campaign end.
3 or 4 lizards. Eric, are you scared of spiders?
No,
Okay.
not particularly. I mean, big ass spiders kind of, But...
I mean, I don't know. It might be a bigger than normal spider if it's mechanical.
Oh, that's right. And that also gives you the ability to create your own like quasi magical ammunition. So that'll be handy.
Mm-hmm.
I
To
forgot
add to
about
my
that.
gun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a big gun, it's kind of like on my back all the time. And you said you can't draw your weapon, but like, what if I have to like grab it to put it down? Because it's huge, I don't know.
I'd say as long as you're not pointing it at somebody, you're probably okay. So I have a question: is it a gun or is it a rocket launcher or what?
I was thinking more like, I don't know, Gatling rocket launcher.
Gatling rocket launcher?
No, I don't know. I'm gonna
Okay.
think about it.
I just love that you're like your character art for all of your like the art that you're gonna have to draw now when you're drawing your quote unquote boys are gonna consist of Palouse, Winter, and a fucking gun. So
Yes, and a gun.
yeah,
Just a gun between them.
Yeah, you're gonna have to redraw that drawing that you did where it was me and Winter, and it just mean it's Palouse and the gun.
Yeah, that's what
If you know what I'm talking about.
You're both just licking the gun.
Oh my god.
The gun has a tongue. Oh, okay, yeah, Winter. Okay, got it.
And that gun better have a name.
Oh,
is all
my
I'm gonna
weapons all have names, and they all
very
talk
good.
to me,
Good girl.
and I
Wait,
talk
what?
to them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, just be advised, Kyle, that there is a small chance you actually accidentally poison yourself with your poisons.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So if I noticed that herbalism and brewing have the same effect of exhaustion, do they stack with each other or they're different? So like if I drink 2 drinks, right? Let's see here.
They're like if you do a brewing and then you use an herb, I'm gonna say they don't stack in that for that purposes. So you actually have to drink 2 beers in order to start feeling that exhaustion. You have to drink 2 or eat 2 herbs in order to feel that, but you can mix and match the 2.
Smoke 2
So, okay,
herbs.
got it. So you can drink and
Be a
drug.
little
It's okay.
crossfaded.
Yeah, crossfaded's fine. Got it. No exhaustion on the crossfade. Okay, cool.
Uppers and downers, they kind of offset,
Depressants and what's the other one? I don't know.
Yeah, until they fucking find out that 4 locos are killing people, and then they take it on.
I was thinking of making that ginger root into some kind of speed thing where it makes your heart race or something.
I like it. That's a cool idea. Yeah, I look forward to seeing what you do with all this. Okay. Let's see. One other thing. Let me go over some of the new rules. Under the rules reference, I have a thing for special rules and feats. I'll go over those. Oh, Charlie, just so you know, there is a form of flanking in this edition, or in this game.
There is?
Yeah, it's under the combat rules. All you have to do is be across. You have to be directly across from the enemy, and you get a +2 bonus instead of advantage.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. There's a little chart under the combat rules that shows it. But under special rules and feats, you'll find Healing Surge. It works just like in POTA, where you use an action and you can spend up to half your hit dice rounded down, adding your con mod to each one, and you heal that much HP. Inspiration has been improved. When you use your inspiration token, you can give yourself advantage on any d20 roll, impose a disadvantage on an enemy's d20 roll, re-roll a d20, and other uses for it may arise over the course of the campaign. We'll see what you guys choose to do. And the feat Keen Mind is actually like it's a little underwhelming, and I think it could, like, if it's managed right, it'd be very helpful in this campaign. So I bought it in addition to what it does in bumping your intelligence, which way is normal. The hours till sunrise and sun, being able to accurately recall stuff that you've seen and heard within the past month, which it can actually be. You also get to add your intelligence modifier to your initiative rolls. And lastly, you gain a number of deduction tokens equal to your proficiency bonus. And you gain one more deduction token every time your proficiency bonus increases. So max you could ever have is probably 4. And the way it works is you can spend a deduction token to ask me one which I am obligated to answer truthfully and to the fullest extent that the information that your character has would allow. Or at least could get readily or is readily available. So any question I have to answer truthfully, assuming you guys are based on the information that you guys have at hand. So this is a good way of sort of simulating a character who is very intelligent, piece together and connections, even if you yourself don't want to bother keeping track of all that shit.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question for the group. Were we lacking, or was that Josh?
Yeah,
Sound like a
you were
robot.
lagging a bit for me.
Okay, then I have another question. Did anyone hear anything he just said?
God damn it!
I caught it chunks.
I got the important part.
Got a couple
God.
chunks. I was looking over the keen mind.
I'm sorry.
I got most of the keen minds stuff. You are fairly.
You
Yeah,
were
it was when
talking
you were
about
talking
it, and I
about
was
keen
reading
mind,
it. You know?
you were definitely lagging out a little bit there.
I didn't get a single word. I don't know what the heck just happened.
I just like to let you struggle a little bit.
Thanks.
You're
Suze.
welcome. You're welcome.
Appreciate
I got
it.
your back.
I love this group so much. I love my friends.
We're your friends? He said we're his friends, guys.
So I have a question. When it comes to herbalism and stuff, it says that we have starting recipes. I think you said we have 3 to begin with, correct?
Yeah, so pick 3
Yes,
out of the
of
ones
those
that
5.
are there. Yeah.
Okay, I get 3. And then do we start out with any of these on hand, or do we have to make them in game? Because I was wondering if I had them with me.
I'm gonna say no. You. For you, I'll say you have you could have one.
Okay.
I'll give you each. I'll give you each one item.
Well, I could give my starter gold for that or something. If that was.
No,
the
it's
case,
not. It's fine. No, everybody gets one. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna be a big enough bastard in this campaign that I can give you guys a few bones.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Okay,
Good
and,
night, Charlie.
Charles.
Yeah, good
Hi,
night,
guys.
Charlie. Excited to go with this.
I have another crafting question myself. I know you went over it earlier, but remind me. So the complexity it has a higher component cost, and what does the different complexity levels correlate to? I'm assuming basic recipes are the novice ones. Is that what I'm assuming?
Josh, are you there?
Uh-oh. That's
oh
robot.
God, the lag
Robot
is real.
Josh.
Oh,
God
Hurricane
damn it.
got him.
Hang on. Hold on.
I thought the hurricane was over.
There's
Is the hurricane still
flood.
going?
It's done, but it did
There's
well.
still flood.
It's done some damage. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's.
That's a lot of damage.
It's a lot of damage.
I think it's passed.
That's why I'm not gonna live on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Right
We
there.
didn't get any of
Sorry,
it here.
Yeah,
To
so
find
I'm not
here.
gonna live in New York. Ryan, do you
New
not know
York,
where
yeah.
everybody lives? Come on.
I'm
I
sorry.
do, but you never know. Here could mean a lot of things, so
For
I
sure.
just had to
No,
clarify.
it means here where he lives, and I know where everybody lives because I'm a stalker.
Okay.
Oh,
Just come
God.
on
I don't
down
know
to
everybody's
Spice-
birthdays though. No way, I know
Come on
Josh's
down.
birthday.
Just come down to the spicy south, where we're still getting 90-degree days, and we broke 4 records this summer in heat.
Oh,
Nice.
jeez.
Sounds good.
No, and to answer the question, no, the hurricane's not going, and we didn't have any damage.
Yay.
So let's see. Actually, it didn't even rain here. Literally, what hurricane?
Susan, let's make pancakes. I want pancakes.
I was gonna make German pancakes. Don't you touch anything.
And yes, the fact I do live on the East Coast doesn't mean hurricanes, but as opposed to living in a desert, which sucks all the time, Yeah.
Oh shit.
Dude, the desert life is the best life. You don't know what you're missing.
Actually, I fucking hate snow. I'm done with it. I want to get the fuck out.
I'm over
I'd rather
it.
deal with the heat.
To answer your question, Kyle, all novice level hang on, wait. What was your fucking question?
Okay,
Nobody
so
knows.
there's the 3 tiers of complexity, and
Yeah.
of course they have the different like component costs.
Are these starter recipes the novice recipes, and we don't see the intermediate ones technically, right? Is that kind of what you
Yeah, right. And actually, so what it is not all. There are more novice recipes other than the ones you're seeing.
Okay.
Your sheet. All starter recipes are novice. Not all novice are starter.
Mm-hmm.
I got another question.
You okay? What's up?
For the higher level recipes, do we have to unlock all the novice ones first? Or how does that work?
No, you're not gonna have to unlock all the ones before that. It's just once
It's
you
just random.
are able to start making those, you can start experimenting to create them. Or you find the recipes on your own.
I can just go to the hardest, coolest recipes right off the bat if I had the money for it, is what you're saying.
No, you have to discover it.
You have to you can experiment to try and randomly create it, but you can only do that if your proficiency bonus is high enough.
Oh.
Yeah, it's tied to your proficiency bonus. So once you have a +3 proficiency bonus, you'll be able to do advanced recipes, intermediates, and then once you hit +4, you'll be able to do advanced.
My bad. I don't actually read how to do anything. So.
And your roll, it just adds your proficiency bonus. None of your stats. It's just your none of your attributes or what's the
somebody
attributes.
Took out the butter and then never put it back. Is that you, baby?
No. Butter is left out for putting on bread and shit. Sometimes, that happens.
I get it, but like,
don't you usually put it back in the fridge and then just take it out when you want to use it?
No, because we want it to be soft.
Well,
so you leave it out.
Ugh.
I don't know.
We have a fuck ton of butter. You can leave one stick out. We want it out to be soft to put on bread. Just let mom do whatever the fuck mom's gonna do, okay?
The real question is it on a butter dish with a little butter cover, or is it just out in the open?
Out in the open.
Asking the
out in the open, animals.
Yeah. This is what I come here for.
We have a butter dish. This is fucking whatever. I don't give a shit.
I'm eating your white chocolate chips.
Okay.
You're supposed to get mad.
Really good right now.
Get mad at me.
Nah.
Tell me no.
Nah.
I'm hungry.
It's too bad.
Let's make pancakes.
Better start eating those chocolate chips. Did anybody have any other questions then?
Yeah. How tall are you?
He said that already. It's been revealed.
Oh.
Shorter than Charlie. No, I think.
What color underwear are you
wearing? I definitely
wearing
have things I want to talk about with you before we get started in with the other guys, but I think I just need to figure out backstory.
Yeah, same.
Besides that.
Okay.
How many fingers am I holding up right now?
4.
It was a trick question.
Ah.
There was no fingers up.
He doesn't have any fingers.
Oh, poor Ryan doesn't have any fingers. Sad.
Who needs fingers?
Just have these little fleshy nubs flopping around everywhere.
Fists. No, not even fists.
Not even fists. Yeah.
How much are you regretting starting this campaign?
Like I've regretted
That's a good question.
For 3 days. Truly told, I regretted it the second Charlie and Susan started talking. I should have known better.
Exactly.
And despite all my regrets, I am extremely excited.
Same.
Hey.
Nice. Yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm excited for this urban campaign.
I'll cut out during every fucking villainous monologue.
I'll let you know if you cut out during a villainous monologue, okay?
Thank you. Please do that.
I will too, don't worry.
I do have one question. I'm starting to put together my languages. What kind of races compose
Now you're cutting off, Eric.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Okay.
What kind of language is what?
What kind of
What
races?
kind of races compose of blah blah blah?
Compose of noble society. Like who's in noble society?
Oh,
What race?
it would be no, it'd be white people. It'd be white people, humans, elves.
Wait. White people, next classification, humans.
Yeah. White people are separate from that.
Got it. Okay.
So white people, humans, elves, half elves, dwarves. I could see maybe a gnomish family, a noble gnomish family.
Yes, my family's half elves.
Probably not. Okay, that's fine. Probably not tiefling. There are probably like noble tieflings, but they're the black sheeps of the family. Trying to think of anything
half
else.
Orcs?
No.
Noble half orcs?
Well, if there are noble half orcs, it's probably a bastard child, and they're not particularly liked. A little bit racist.
What about half elves?
You said yes.
Half elves are fine. Yeah. Yep, half elves are
It's just humans and elves, the superior races.
Yeah, I essentially, yeah, that's sort of kind of the way they look at it. I don't think there are any noble dragonborn, but that's mostly a function of dragonborn being very rare and typically not undertaking a lot of dragonborn don't do a whole lot of commercial activity, so they don't really end up getting a noble status. I don't think they'd have a problem with dragonborn.
Did you just stereotype?
If there are,
all dragonborn are noble, Josh. They're all noble.
I'm ignoring all of you. Anyway, if there is a dragonborn, I could see there being a dragonborn family, and they're like the big curiosity, the talk of the town. Like, when they come into the party, it's not like, hey, look at the noble family that just came in. It's like, oh, look, dragonborn. Aren't they so exotic? It's like the well-to-do Indian family that just moved into like a Georgia neighborhood. And everybody's like, look, brown people, everyone.
Brown people.
Another question: How much gonna hate me if I say Maztica forever a lot?
Not gonna hate you.
I'm not gonna hate you at all.
Not gonna give a shit.
Gesundheit? What'd you just say?
Wakanda forever.
Maztica forever.
God damn you.
We'll see. I won't hate you personally, but my character might.
Wakanda?
Yeah, we got Wakanda. Black Panther?
Black Panther.
Oh, I've never seen
it. Even if you haven't seen the movie, you should at least know the meme by now.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I don't know Norman. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Only that elite esoteric memes.
Yes.
The vintage memes.
The kind you can only get them violent anymore.
Yeah.
You're a hipster of memes?
Exactly.
Yes. Really.
Oh lord.
Oh Christ.
I was thinking also my character probably doesn't really look or dress noble, and probably goes by a nickname most of the time.
Probably, I can see that.
My character have a fedora.
Yeah, if you want.
Okay.
Speaking of nicknames, would it be too kind of cheesy if my guy just insists on being called King?
No,
No?
I don't think
That'd be
so.
kind of cool.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I like the idea.
Alright, cool, because I have no idea what his real name is. I'm bad with names.
Does he know his name?
Yeah. Ooh, or maybe a thing could be like him and his twin brother were given the same name because of some kind of like religious thing. And when his brother won the duel, then his brother officially got that name and he was stripped of his name to where he doesn't have a name anymore in their culture.
What if I just put a bunch of spices in a pot and then like put spaghetti and just like...
That's called ramen.
Then I would touch it. Memes.
Can I eat that?
It depends on what the spices are, but I mean, yeah. That's how you end up getting with cinnamon,
just
garlic,
fucking
pasta.
bouillon and water and with
Should
oil
I just put
and
like
a fucking
allspice?
pot.
Like...
No, just put bouillon in a fucking pot with some water. Never mind.
Josh, I thought of another question.
I'm hungry.
Please, Eric, give me a question that's on topic. instead of Ryan's adventures in cooking.
Being a noble, should I expect people to call me Lord?
Probably yeah, you'll probably be like lower class people will probably refer to you as my lord or milord or sir, something like that. You'll probably be given a title.
Okay.
A total title.
A total.
A total
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
I'm saying a lot of words here.
that's right.
And this will just continue my pattern of having a character that, even if they have a full name, they don't go by their full name at all.
Susan, help me cook.
You
Whoa,
cook
you got
just
jellos?
fine. Yes, I got you pudding. You're welcome.
You don't need to cook.
Cheesecake?
Yep, white chocolate too.
Interesting.
I got that from me.
What I'm hearing, Ryan, is you got like at least two of the 4 basic food colors right there.
Food colors. What?
Yeah.
Is that an Eastern thing?
Yeah, along with Kiss and teetotaler.
What was the boat name? What was it called again?
Skiff.
Skiff.
Skiff. SKIFF.
I got a stiffy.
Ride my stiffy, girl.
If this is session 0,
It's that time of the night, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's where everything's funny.
I love it.
To me.
Motherfucker, it is not even 9 o'clock there, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Wait, what
Okay,
time?
then. What do you mean that time of the night where everything's funny?
Dude, I don't fucking know.
Fair enough.
You're home for too long all day, Ryan.
I'm dying of hunger. It's making me go
It's
crazy.
your own fault that you don't make food during the day, so I go to work, I come home, eat and eat. It's not my fault.
Realize I'm being bullied.
No, we don't care.
Yeah.
We encourage it.
Just put a B on your mouth for 10.
This is not a safe space.
Nope. It's an unfinished basement. It's not a safe space.
Just put a B on the cube and a coffee maker and make some soup.
Death and resurrection rules.
Yes.
Are they anything different?
No, it's
No.
the same ones from the other one.
Do we get like a weird thing?
Yes.
No.
No.
I don't have that written down. Like it's not. There's no like hardcore system. It's going to be sort of my judgment when that happens, if that happens.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I don't think I'm going to do a short-term madness thing. I might. It depends. Again, it's very situational as to what happens.
Mhm.
So
And you've talked about like the weird death. What was it like? Weird
yeah,
death, bad death.
good death, bad death, dead death. Where one death will be some sort of weird complication for your, not even a complication, weird development for your character. It's usually something that is positive eventually or outright, or it just takes the character in a different angle. Charlie was talking about like forcing people into warlock packs. Truth be told, that's a common trick I use. Hey, you dead? Guess what? Want to sell your soul? There's that. Bad death typically involves some sort of deep personal loss to your character. It might involve the loss of a limb, the loss of a precious item. It could have mechanical. It typically does have some sort of mechanical ramifications, but they are you can overcome them. Especially since if I cut off one of your limbs, Susan could just build a new one for you. So I have to chop off Susan's limbs first, so she can't make new ones. Make that note.
What if I already had my limbs chopped off and I already have robot arms?
Then
Sorry,
I
arcane
break
arms.
Then I break them. I had a Full Metal Alchemist clone.
What if
for
she tinkers with her feet?
That's disgusting, and I say no.
I have robot
Susan-
feet.
Feet are deformed monkey hands. I don't want to see them or hear about them. Ugh. Anyway.
Is your character's little sister soul bound to an automaton?
A Tamagotchi?
Possibly.
That's the one.
Is she a Digimon?
Accidentally. You know,
Can she be
what
my
I was-
Otismon?
Is she a Pokemon?
With
Can
what
she
we
be
were
my
thinking
frog?
of,
That's how our characters are tied.
Probably.
Your sister is my frog.
yeah. I'm just a full metal alchemist, but I'm fucking wacko. But not that wacko.
I can ride in my frog. I just take 2d4 acid damage every turn.
Wow. That sounds super not worth
And the
it.
world outside is dealing 3d4 acid damage. There's the frog option. And then lastly, 3 deaths is dead death, or it's either permadeath or it's a death that you're back from, but I can guarantee you've got some sadness coming your way. Charlie mentioned it in like how he's died 3 times in the other game, and he actually has now that I think about it. And Charlie's character is kicking around. Charlie's got a lot of pain coming his way eventually. So, and there's no way of avoiding that now. So so that's how it goes. That being said, if your character dies, or if you ever get tired of your character, we can always like have your character leave the story in some way, or character just is fucking dead, and you could start up a new one or whatever, you know. So don't feel like if you end up coming up with a concept and you just can't make it work, that's fine. Let me know. We'll hash it out. It's Waterdeep. There's lots of people in here. Lord only knows what you come up with.
Also, the rule is you can no longer change your character after I've drawn it. So.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently, actually, so correct. Forget everything I just said.
Yes. Now you're gone. You lagged. I don't know where Josh was. I don't know if you stopped talking.
I'm right here.
Oh, okay. You just.
Yeah, I heard everything.
Okay, I thought you had more to say. It sounded like you had more.
No,
to say.
I just.
You don't. Okay.
No.
Forget everything you
And
said.
then you interrupted him.
Yeah.
But do you want to? Here, you just run the game, Susan. It's fine.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm not allowed to talk.
Oh no! Wait, no, I don't DM. Sorry.
God damn it!
Yikes.
I almost had her. Let's see here. There's one other thing.
Are all of your characters gonna have an accent?
No, not all of them. A lot of them will. And I am going to.
Nerdly around. Can he be my NPC contact?
Do you really want Sneerdly to be your NPC contact?
No.
Okay. I didn't.
You mean? Don't you mean? Don't you mean no?
No. About the same. Do you really want to have to deal with this on a regular basis?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
I don't want to be
Yards.
associated with that guy.
Yes.
Although I do want to have a rival.
A rival? Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the NPC's contacts. And I'll kind of flesh that out a little. Like, I'll give you something to work with in my backstory.
It's dawned on me that I have an idea of a NPC that you guys probably don't meet for a while, but she does become kind of important. And she would be right up your alley to know.
Look at all the she's.
Okay.
Just
Is she cute?
She hot.
You'll find out.
She's hot. She's hot, guys.
She's hot. She's awesome.
Before
Before she's really ugly now.
Okay. Anyway, shit. I had something. I don't remember what.
Shit.
She's my little sister. She is a robot. This is Full Metal Alchemist. Kyle was
Oh my
right.
god. You're right. She's in armor. My character's gonna get really mad if you call him short.
Oh, here's another question. When are we starting this?
Let's see. It's every other Wednesday. So if you guys want, I can start. I could probably have something ready before or by
The 3rd.
the Wednesday after the 3rd. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If we're ready, I guess.
If,
Whatever.
if you guys are ready and I'm ready, we can probably start then. If you guys feel like you need more time, let me know, and we'll figure out a day. Let's see.
Try and shoot for it.
That's what.
Yeah, do it.
Having a deadline makes us work faster.
Yeah, we can do it. You don't have to have your character backstory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, we didn't. Most of us didn't have like our full character back. All of us didn't have our full character backstories probably when we first started. I'm gonna post the 100 questions link in the Discord chat. I'll pin it. I encourage you to engage in that. I know some of you won't, or probably won't. Not naming anybody.
What?
Nothing. It's fine.
What happened?
Nothing. I'm not naming. Nothing.
I think you did that.
What?
I think you did that for the Apocalypse game. The 100 questions.
Oh, well, never mind. I'll shut the fuck up.
Me?
I apologize.
Yeah, did you do that? I'm trying to remember.
Ryan?
I
I
did.
think you did.
I
think
did
you
partially.
Oh,
I didn't
did.
finish it.
Yeah, it's not
Oh,
finished.
I partially retract it. Okay.
The reason why I didn't want to do this all was because I didn't feel like doing it. I don't know.
That's a good reason.
He hasn't even read my 100 questions for Agony. I tried to get him to do it like several times.
I don't
just
want to.
Spoilers.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you. I don't want to spoil it. I want to see it in game. I don't want to read it.
Everyone's I just finished my 100 questions. I got like 40 in, and then I stopped. I'll probably answer like a lot of the other questions a lot easier now that I've fleshed out more backstory and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, although you've already... It's like you guys are... I think it's a good prompt to come up with your character, but like, you guys in that game think about your characters so much. It's like, that's not a problem that we have at all.
Nah.
Like, you guys not fleshing out what your character is thinking.
And I might not have done the 100 questions, but I did write 2 pages on my god, and then like another page on Palouse. So
yeah, you guys have all given me a lot of stuff for that.
not like I didn't care about the character.
Yeah.
There's like 150 pages
Of what?
of.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's a little excessive.
It's
It
really
says
only
exactly what I need to say.
expanding on all the notes that we've already made on our characters. You know, it's just like fun.
Yeah, truth be told, it's fan fiction. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fan fiction.
And truth be told, like writing it out actually does help figure out. Like, it's a good sort of process of figuring out like how artist thinks, and where he's coming from. Crap. Not figured. Where are the goddamn holidays?
Green grass.
Oh, I saw that earlier. Those, like, all the... there's like a...
Yeah, there are a ton of fucking holidays in Waterdeep.
I think it's the city's splendors.
Okay.
Yeah,
probably.
It is.
Okay, thank you.
Now, where's the calendar? I need a calendar.
Yeah,
I didn't put the calendar in here. I've got that's actually what I'm looking at right now. Because I have an idea as to when the day that we're starting, because it's a holiday.
Green grass.
Oh fuck yeah!
It's not green grass. It is
green.
Here we go.
Blue
Let me take a look here.
weeds.
Turquoise plants.
Ooh, okay, hang on. That's pretty late.
No, that's crazy.
Fuckus? Is that what you Fuckising. I'm fuckising right now.
Fuckising.
It's the glorious holiday of Fuckmas.
The glorious holiday of Fuckmas.
Hey, who's my mom?
Get your ho ho hos.
You're not my mom. I'm your mom.
So customizing backgrounds. I don't think I've ever done this before. Actually, I think I did.
Pretty sure you have.
You did it with
Palouse.
You did it with Palouse, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've never done it before. I'm like, you clearly have done it before.
What you do is you can take 2 skill proficiencies.
And a tool.
2
or a language.
Either tool or language. You can take 2 language, 2 tool, or 1 of these.
Oh.
And then you get a feature. You choose like each
mounting
background has a feature. So you chose hermit. The hermit feature.
Is mounting stuff? Is that a tool? How does that work?
Land vehicles is a tool.
Do horses count as land vehicles? I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, right?
Yeah, I'd say I think that's more animal handling. Like wagons are land vehicles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wagons, carriages. I think there are I think there's rickshaws, and I think there's small little gnomish inventions in Waterdeep. I think they're called whoosh wagons or something like that. Something like that. There are a handful of land vehicles.
My kid won't have that. I'll just have a language of some sort. What's the population like? Like percentage-wise? I assume it's mostly human.
Yeah, it's probably going to be mostly human, a lot of elf and dwarf, followed by sizable minorities of halfling and gnome, and then it's probably goblinoid, half orc, tiefling, all in small numbers, I'd say.
Where do you think I think you already mentioned this before, but I want to get an idea, and I don't remember what you said. So, where would the goblinoid creatures be located? Is that the dock ward?
South ward.
Probably southern ward,
which is next to it.
Which is next to it, but strangely enough, not labeled.
It's the one that has the horrible
420?
goblin drawn. Yeah.
Beautiful goblin drawing, actually. Beautiful.
God.
So beautiful.
The 420 on the high road. Hell. For clarity, since we're making things up, what streets are goblin streets?
Let's.
So
I guess you can tell me later. You don't have to make it up right now.
Okay. So the starting in-game date, I'll pin it here, is Marpanoth the 10th, which is the holiday of Reign of Misrule, the holiday of Bashaba, goddess of misfortune. It's the day where this social order is kind of flipped on its head a little bit. It's there's a small expectation of disorder. Masters will sometimes serve their servants, stuff like that. It's one of those holidays where everybody has fun with this sort of inverted social order. So it's a night of. No, it is not the Purge.
Is this game every other week?
Yes.
Yeah, I plan on it being every other week.
So when do we start? Are we going to start in
Probably
2 weeks?
on
Or are we
the
going to
3rd.
start?
Probably on the 3rd. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Got it.
I'd love to be able to give you street names. Unfortunately, I have this giant fucking goblin hiding the fucking street names.
In the 420 too.
Oh, is that what? Oh, so it is. Okay.
That's what it started as.
Because the higher end. Okay.
That's true. All this drawing does kind of get in the way of us looking at.
You can move the drawing. You can select it and move it.
It's gonna mess it up because there's more than one person who contributed.
It's true.
Not gonna say who did it though.
I don't know.
I'm going to say Wall Street is the goblin territory, just because I like the idea of your goblins at Little Street.
Like it. Straight out of Wall Street.
Down with the 1%.
We are the 1%. Where's Wall Street? Okay,
it's
by the wall. I should have fucking guessed.
Yeah. So the section of Wall Street between Olim's Cut and probably Tillman's Lane or not Tillman's Lane, but Caravan Street is Goblin Town essentially.
I got a question. How far is Wall Street from the Yawning Portal?
It's not horribly far.
Does this measure the accurate
actually,
miles? No, it doesn't.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not.
It's only 61 feet. That's easy.
Yeah. You are all colossal monsters.
you may take
rampaging across.
3 steps, you're there.
It's not within. It's not without the it's within the realm of possibility of you being out there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking maybe that's where I make the big bucks because it's higher up. There's probably people with more money.
Castle Ward, It's in Castle Ward.
Yeah. Yeah. Truth be told, not a whole lot of people live in Castle Ward, but an awful lot of people go to Castle. So.
Probably a lot of rich people who just want their fix. Probably not a lot of other drug dealers go that way because it's probably high profile. So people
I probably have to go to Castle Ward because that's where Costco is.
Where's Costco? Could you ping that on the map?
Strangely enough, there is no Costco here.
What?
Yeah, I told.
This is barbaric.
Waterdeep has problems, dude. You guys gotta fix it.
We don't have
Gotta get a
Costco.
Costco.
You're right. We're building a Costco. That's our first goal.
There's at least a Walmart though somewhere, right?
Yeah, it's gotta be a
No.
Walmart.
There are colossal statues embedded in the ground, but no Walmart.
No Walmart.
I don't like this.
Not
place.
even a fantasy version of Walmart.
Let's walk into the mist and go to the other campaign.
Walmarket.
There sure as shit ain't no Walmarts there.
Happy to miss my line guy transforms to Simon Belmont because that's totally the character I want to run for Crystal Straub whenever I do that.
Not even Walmarket.
Sure, we'll say yeah, let's do that.
Of course, the Walmart would be next to Gobbo Town. Sure, right.
That's racist.
Yeah, Susan.
Wait, what is this Caravan Court? Is that where people sell stuff too?
Yeah, I think there's something special
I think
about
caravans go there.
It historically, yes. All of Southern Ward used to be called the Caravan Ward because that's where caravaneers would stay, and that's where they typically stay now. I don't know if Caravan Court is still used for caravans. I think there's something special about it, but I'm not sure. There is somewhere around here. I actually remember marking it on the map, where that fucking sphere of moonlight happens. That does the dancing thing.
Oh, look, I found Virgin Square. Who's going there? Not anybody.
Oh,
yeah.
Eh? I think that's where people go to play their card games and their tabletop games and such.
Virgin Square.
Ouch!
For the
Ouch!
hang out.
Ouch! Kyle throwing some shade on his own people.
It's funny because we are those people. We can say it because we are.
Yeah.
It's our jokes.
They're our jokes.
What happened?
I could say it, you can't.
Yeah.
Can't call me a word. Can't call me a nerd. That's our word.
We're taking
Our word. We're taking
Cult,
it back.
yeah. We're cultists. Sup, cultists.
A nerda? My nerda?
Oh my god.
Mastika forever.
Man, well, I'm almost done putting together my character.
I'm glad somebody is doing their job.
Wait, are you actually making it right now?
Yeah, dude, I've been doing
Hey,
it. Almost done.
I picked
Eric
my
being
fucking
productive.
stats, okay? I did that yesterday.
See? All right, there you go.
I have
figured
no
you were doing something in
shit.
here. You're in here
Choosing all
fucking-
night.
No,
I
I
haven't-
wasn't.
Who
already
put
know
your
that.
mom? Who's the immature one here?
Well,
I think
can
we
you
know.
use your deduction skills here?
Well,
Okay,
oh
well,
yeah,
I
well,
guess-
who's my mom and didn't capitalize my?
That's me.
Yeah, so who's more immature? Definitely not me.
You know who's
Susan.
immature? My mom.
My mom.
Uh,
Oh man, that show's okay. Let's see. Okay. What is this? How do you want to create this character? Edit sheet directly. Have you guys ever tried to do the thing before?
Yes, I have. It's cool, but Artificer's not on there, so I have to do it custom.
Yeah, I tried the same thing with the UA Ranger. I was like, God damn it, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're doing something in the player's handbook. If you're using any outside material. Well, no, I guess if you're not using... If it's only first level, then you don't have to worry about subclasses from like Xanathars or anything. So I guess you could do that kind of stuff.
Okay, so my lowest stats are Wisdom and Charisma. I technically couldn't make Charisma any lesser than 10 because of half health. So, whatever.
Alignment.
Is your Wisdom negative?
No, it's still 10.
Okay.
I don't think my character's
considered
evil.
it. Yes.
He's definitely. He's probably just like, I don't know, it might be true neutral.
I can see that.
Because he doesn't seem like he'd be lawful. I mean, he's breaking the law.
Actually, I'm not entirely sure if drugs are illegal.
Wait, really?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's not on there, huh?
Yeah. I'll say. Do you want them to be illegal and like have a sort of a sketchy sort of?
Yeah, I
sense
mean,
to it?
come on. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay, drugs are illegal.
Well, you know, maybe
Thanks.
it's kind of like the real world where there's like different levels.
There's pot, and then there's coke.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see that. Yeah.
Alcohol's
Yeah, maybe.
totally fine, you know.
No,
Well,
it's like
yeah.
pot, and then there's meth.
Yeah.
Alignment. Alignment.
Pick that later.
I'll just say.
I don't know what I'm gonna put.
Okay. Now stats.
Yes. Stats.
Looks like
yes.
goblins get Dex and Con. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Is there any other race that gets Dex and Con?
Not that I know of. Not too many races get con.
Not too many races get +2 Dex, I think. Most of them is a +1, isn't it? I don't know.
I think elves get it. I think halflings get +2 dex. I don't know. Maybe. But no, I think dex con is a pretty unique combination.
I'm looking at the elves to see if there's anyone that has Con. Nope.
No, no elves. I'm pretty sure. Typically, like your dex bonus races are considered like the scrawny, frail ones, so they don't get bonuses to con. So.
Because I'm just making it easy on me to try to find a race that's similar. Because I'm using that whatchamacallit point by thing. Wow,
Yes.
dude, mountain dwarfs get +2 strength, +2 con.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's because their other feature is just proficiency in all armor, which is pretty easy for them to pick up anyway.
Huh.
I don't think I've ever even played with a dwarf.
Dwarfs are boring.
Nobody
I
think nobody plays dwarf.
I kind of like dwarves. It's just like I don't know. Now that I think about it, I haven't had a party with dwarves either.
Yeah.
Because I kind of like dwarves. I always feel like default NPCs. I never thought of like a PC character that I would have liked being a dwarf. I don't know.
Halfling stout. Dex and Con.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Entertainers pack. Get those costumes, baby. Who?
Should I make my character tanky? He's up front.
I know Charlie's character will be that to an extent, but that's not just.
I potentially might be doing swashbuckler, so I might be up in there stabby also. But a third person up there.
But you're doing stabby, but you're not necessarily a tinky kind of guy.
My frog's gonna be tanky.
Like I figure, like with a ranger and a rogue, the two of us will be able to kind of like shift between range and melee as we need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could. I don't want to go into con. I feel like he's not going to be that. He wouldn't have that much con. He's a goblin, right? Even though he gets a +1 in it.
Maybe he has good con because he's like built up such a resistance to drugs.
Yeah, you could think of it from that perspective.
Probably.
He's like a tiny Bane. That's a good idea. Let me write that down. Goblin Bane.
Tiny Goblin Bane.
There we go.
I always gotta have a -1 mod. Can't play without it. Just kidding. You guys can do whatever the heck you want.
Ryan's so generous.
Okay.
Let's see.
So do we have kind of an even distribution of stats with everybody? Eric, what's your main stat? Is your charisma?
My main stat's charisma.
My main stats
Susan's-
would be good.
Yours is yours int as an artificer?
Mhm.
So we got int, charisma. I'll be dexed. Kyle, are you gonna be dexed?
Yeah, Dex and the high charisma also.
And then the other, or Charles, is gonna be strength.
So we don't really have a lot of wisdom. Not very,
Sounds
but that
appropriate.
makes sense for yeah. That sounds about right.
I mean, my character's gonna have a +2 in wisdom because
Okay, so you'll be the wisest of us.
I feel like it makes
The
sense.
drug dealer.
But yeah, I feel it makes sense as a
Is
drug
it-
dealer.
Yeah, got
Has
those
it-
street smarts.
Yeah,
Street smarts. He's expanded his mind.
I was considering
That
putting
too.
high wisdom, but like I wanted to purposefully have dex and strength to be high because it's kind of ironic.
I love playing characters with higher wisdom. Because my favorite thing to press is insight, really. That's my favorite button with skills. Insight
Really?
is an amazing skill, yeah.
I'm not a big fan of insight. I like deception a little bit more.
I figured.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We're at odds.
I can pull all these charisma, pull all the bullshit that Artemis does in our
I
game.
don't know. Can I
back-
tell
right
if
back
you
at
like
Yeah.
deception as much as you say you like deception?
I really like deception, but I also really like her. So
I don't know. Roll a deception check, Josh. I got an 18.
Or plus like 21 or
Uh,
you're messing with a god.
well, he said it. So there you go.
Yikes. Well, you did roll a 19. I think he really likes deception. I can tell.
That's right. Okay. Oh, we're starting level 1, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
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 Choose 3. Animal handling. Yes, I have a frog. Nature?
Maybe
Probably.
getting them herbs.
And then probably insight, because I love insight. Makes sense to me. And then my background will give me, what is it, deception and stealth, I think?
Probably.
I think so. Yep. Looks good to me. How fast are goblins? 25?
I
30.
thought they were a little bit faster. I think they're 30.
Yeah. You guys doing your sheets too?
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
making
just
my character
looking at-
portrait.
I'm just looking at background. You're making a character portrait.
Hey, Josh. I have
Yo.
two different sources. One from my background and one from the Entertainer's Pack that give me a disguise kit. Can I turn one of those into calligrapher's supplies?
Yeah, of course.
So just start with those. Cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Man, excited to make disguises. Dude, I am like mechanically, I'm gonna have a lot of similarity. narratively, I'm gonna have a lot of
Sorry, you're
Like,
cutting out.
You cut out what?
Thornburg?
to Artemis.
To Artemis. Oh.
I'm gonna be
I
pulling
mean-
a lot of the same shit that.
Well, are we all? We're all in this urban setting, so we're all going to be taking stuff that Artemis has done, kind of,
That's
sort of.
true. That's true.
That's why he did it. He wants us to make all Artemis characters.
That's why he's gonna
That's
make us
just a
all into
bonus.
warlocks.
Now we'll finally.
No, that's just
understand
me.
Finally understand.
Do you have a daughter secretly, Eric?
I do.
Well, that would be a secret.
I have 10 secret daughters.
And an 11th one I don't even know about. It's that secret.
So, for tool proficiencies, herbalism kit, I assume? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What is that used for proficiency bonus? Or sorry, attribute. Is that like?
I'd say it's probably intelligence, like the default for it. Because like it doesn't super matter because when you choose to use an herbalism kit, it's going to be really situational which attribute you're going to use. So if you're like harvesting herbs, it might be Dex. If it's identifying herbs, it might be Int or something.
So-
Stuff like that.
When you're setting it up on your character sheet, there's one of the options that is just query for attribute. Query attribute.
What does that even do?
So then whenever you click the tool, whenever you click the proficiency, you choose which attribute right there. So that way,
Charisma.
Josh is telling you like, oh, use it Dex this time, but then
Dang, cool.
Wisdom time.
Like it. Okay. Awesome. Languages. Common. Goblin. Less goblin. So I can either choose another tool or I can choose a language. What language would I... What is like the second most populated race, you think, in the town?
I'd say probably elf. But in Southern District, it could be literally anything. Goblin, common, maybe halfling. You could do
Maybe.
infernal or orcish.
Because of the
for tieflings or whatever.
Tieflings.
Yeah.
I feel like I would probably know a language that a monstrous race would know because I'm probably talking with them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I know like a baker down the street who's.
All right, got my character portrait finished.
Race.
Oh God.
I'm gonna go with infernal.
That's amazing.
Beautiful.
Oh my God.
It's
That's
me,
so good.
King.
Yes.
Nice. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that's perfect.
You were expecting a character portrait.
It's just like me. King.
Kyle, if you turn this character into Dio Brando, I will love you and hate you so fucking much.
Limitless ambition. If I come to a point where I can if I can reject my tabaxinity, I will do it.
Is level 10 just going to be like you running around spamming slow, screaming "Zaworldo"?
Yes, 100%.
What are you guys talking about? It's like way over my head.
JoJo's
JoJo.
Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, JoJo.
Yeah.
I only know some JoJo memes. That's it. Like the its song. What's it called? Fuck.
Roundabout.
Yeah, roundabout.
The new season's coming out in early October.
I know. I'm sure. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, and if you can't tell, I finished that part, like the manga version of that part, like a few weeks ago. So I'm still gonna riding that Mafia
nice.
high. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, nice. I still need to read the manga. I haven't read the manga.
It is really good.
Rangers don't have any class resources. I don't think so. No.
No. Oh yeah, there. Wait, so where's Pearl out? Oh wow, okay, that's a decent ways.
And so I'm the only full caster.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you're a bard, so you can do everything, right? Wait, what about artificer? What are artificers? Are they casters at all?
They are casters,
Half?
but they're half casters. Actually,
I'm
I
like-
don't.
Oh,
Actually, I
fourth
think they might
caster.
be like.
Or are they third caster?
No, they're not. They're not quite as bad as third. They're like 2.5, I think. It's weird.
Okay.
Wait. Are rangers third or fourth, or how does
They're
that?
second.
They're half caster.
They're half cast.
They're half cast.
Third caster is like
Paladin?
Eldritch, or no,
Eldritch,
not Eldritch.
Eldritch.
Eldritch Knight.
Oh, it is
Oh.
Eldritch. Eldritch Knight or the
Arcane trickster.
Arcane Trickster. Yeah, those are third.
Got it.
So they don't get spells in third level, and then they just have like way less.
I mean, I'm gonna have some cast. Obviously, I could get some heals too as a
hmm
ranger.
I'm definitely gonna take Healing Word. So
Mhm.
for when I break my nails.
I think I'm gonna get the Zephyr Strike. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, that's a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I've played in our other game. I play a cleric. This is a lot different with spells you know rather than spells you prepare.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I choose my 4 spells and that's it. Those are all my spells.
But that's so much
Whereas-
fun. I
Oh,
love
I like that. I like that because it always stresses me out. Like, which spells am I gonna pick? I like that. I'm choosing them now. Those are what I got.
Wait, what anime is that from? Is that from the little Me thing?
What?
Wait, what?
You guys never seen Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Oh, now I see. Oh, yeah, I recognize that.
Look at her portrait.
Oh,
It's temporary. I couldn't think of anything better.
That's pretty good.
I mean, she's not that crazy.
still haven't come up with a name.
Oh,
No.
should we make a sheet for the frog?
Yeah, I'll worry about that when we start getting closer to it.
Okay, yeah.
I'll just pick an NPC. That's easy.
Yeah, right now it's just kind of flavor.
Right, yeah, I'm just gonna have him not fight, obviously.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh yeah, because you can't. Yeah.
Because I'm not a Beastmaster yet.
We'll say you're in the process of training him to be a battle pro. You take him out every morning, have him run up some stairs, punch some meat.
Yeah. He runs up the castle stairs every day,
Yeah.
and then montage music stuff.
So I'm gonna warn you guys right now. I'm not taking useful spells here at all.
Okay.
I love it when people say that.
He's
I'm
not
just
taking
like-
useful
Well, I'm
spells
just
at
thinking
all,
like
sorry.
this character, like he can't.
What your
like,
character would do? Okay.
He's gotta
Yeah,
have
no,
charm.
dude.
He's gotta have charm person. He's
Okay.
gotta have unseen servant. Like he's having that unseen servant getting them drinks and making his drinks while he's on his master plays.
Dude, go ahead, do whatever. That makes it more fun. As long as you have healing word, I think you can just do whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna have healing.
I
I
was
think I might take. I don't know.
Take
I
what?
might take one that's useful.
You might get like one AOE move. I'm not sure what you
Yeah.
would pick because we don't have any AOE on the team right now.
I think sleep's good. I think that makes more sense than.
Yeah, and truth be told, AOE in an urban setting isn't necessarily better sometimes.
Mm.
So
That's true.
yeah, sleep
Yeah.
and sleep is a good sort of like half compromise there.
Yeah,
Sleep would definitely get us out of a lot of situations too. Like
Yeah, sleep
Instead of
can be
hurting them,
useful.
you could just put them to sleep.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
was
feel like that would be something that he would have when he was trying to like get away or something.
I was
don't know.
hoping to have like fiery evocation spells, but Artificer doesn't have that in the spells list, so I'll have to rethink of what I was thinking about.
If you want like sort of like damaging spells or something like that. Because I was looking over Artificer and I was thinking of ways to like spice it up a little bit. And I could probably come up with like some cool ammo for you to load into your gun to do like fire blasts and stuff like that. If it seems like you're not really up to snuff damage wise, because I've heard that's a problem with Artificer. So
welcome back, dude. What brought you back? I thought you went to bed.
You're killing me.
Why am I killing you?
Why are you back? Like you said. What the fuck are you doing here? We abandoned you, Charlie.
I left because
we've given you up for dead.
I have family in town because they were leaving the hurricane, and I needed to go spend a little time with them before they went to bed.
Oh.
Now I had just gotten to bed, but I wasn't expecting to see you guys still up.
Normies, anyway. And then hurricanes.
Yeah.
Josh, you were one of the people I invited to come in case the hurricane.
It didn't even fucking rain here, so it doesn't count. Doesn't count.
Yeah, because instead it turned towards Myrtle Beach, where all of my family.
I know it. So that sucks, man.
Yeah, that's tough.
I was seeing the reports of like dolphins in the streets. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Dolphins in the streets, they say.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there like a hoax for like there's like sharks in the hurricane or something like that?
I think there probably was. That being said, there very well could have been.
I heard of like a hoax. What's going on?
I don't know.
But yeah, I logged back on because I was gonna do my character sheet, and then I was like, "Wait, are they on?"
Yeah, just working on our character sheets as well.
Cool.
I'm gonna finish mine sometime between now and then, cause I'm gonna go ahead and get off.
All right, good night, Kyle.
Good
night.
Kyle.
Catch you guys
care.
later. Good meeting you for real, Charlie.
Yeah, good meeting to you.
So what do you think's better? Dungeoneer pack or Explorer's pack?
Yes.
Double pack. One in the front, one in the back.
I don't think that's how that works, but
Yeah, it is.
I could be wrong. I think I'm just gonna go with Explorers. Because I already have a crowbar because of my back.
There you go. I didn't want to use that image, but I was.
So now you have one side of the hair shaved.
Not actually gonna do that at all. No.
The loose cannon tonight.
Like it. The wild card.
Your mom, the loose cannon.
I like the other one better.
I already did pink hair. Can't do pink hair.
For some reason, I feel like Jenny would be a good name for this character. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
One of the first names I thought of was Lexi. I don't know how or where. Well, I do actually. I was looking up Jinx and synonyms for Jinx, and one was Hex, and the only cool name I could think of that kind of sounded like Hex was Lex, and I'm like, Lexi, okay.
Why not just call her Hex?
Because I don't know.
Why don't you call her Sex?
Sex.
Rex.
Oh.
Pex.
Tex.
Tex. She does have a gun.
I do have a gun.
Lex.
I went there already.
Yeah.
I literally just
That's
said
where we start.
What about
Full
Sex?
Yeah, he's cycling again.
I think we need to reboot, Ryan. I think you have a Windows update waiting to happen. You need to reboot.
He's still running Windows 7.
Yeah, that's gross.
The old ways were best.
Dude, it's all about the Windows XP, man.
Hey, 95 or bust.
God, that takes me better.
I actually like XP.
Anytime I can
XP
look
is
at
actually
the
solid
God
shit.
from Jolly, I feel vindicated.
What'd you say, Charlie?
Anytime I can get you to say God in that tone of voice, I feel like whatever I said was the right thing to say.
Just recently, I've started to pick up on things that make me realize just how fucking old.
You're not that
But
old.
you're like 12.
Like the fact that I'm going to live long enough to see the Beatles music turn a century old is like terrifying to me.
You can pick something better as a benchmark than that. Come on.
Yeah.
I could, but I mean, it's just like, you know.
You're not that old.
You're right, the Bee Gees.
We know that you saw both World Wars.
Tell us about
what?
any of them.
Both World Wars. Oh my god.
I'm still not sure that Jolly is also just like works like a coral, and then he'll just like bud and grow a new one.
I've always been here in some iteration.
Maybe we should DM you, or I should DM you about a criminal contact.
Okay.
We can go over that.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and DM me. I'm not gonna.
I'll do that later, but
yeah,
it's just something to note, you know.
Yeah. Obviously, shoot me DMs about stuff as you come across them. What was it? I think it was. Is it Stimrel? Ah, there we go. Okay, yeah, it is Stimrel. Okay. Star Wars.
I gotta figure out my skills.
Your skills?
Yeah, my skills. I get stealth racially. I have racial stealth.
Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. Under Yawning Portal Friendly Faces, is a list of like characters who are at the Yawning Portal. If you want, like there's a quick little quote from them and stuff like that. You can get kind of a read on them from that. If you want to connect yourself to any of those, you can. You'll notice Yagra Stonefist. You can, if you look at her pendant, that is a Zentaran symbol. So I'll give you one guess who she works for. Other than that, Durnan's the owner, and he's probably more than a century old. That's
Wait, how's he so old?
He's a former adventurer. He went down into Underground and somehow found magic that extends his life. There are a couple of humans kicking around Waterdeep that are unnaturally old. They're using magic to sustain their lives. You can identify them because they were the creator of Forgotten Realms' original D&D characters. So Durnan, who runs the Yawning Portal, is the Forgotten Realms creator's original character. There's another guy called Mert the Moneylender around here somewhere, and he was in that character's original party too. So, fun little fact there.
Fact of the day.
Yeah, I know. Did anybody have any other questions for me before I sign off here? Because I need to get to bed.
I don't think so. I'll let you know
if
I think of anything.
Yeah, I definitely. I'm gonna make a note to myself right here, right now, because there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about, Eric. Because some of your, I've got some like NPCs here that could be very interesting to you.
Cool.
Okay. Other than that, shoot me DMs when you come up with anything. I am otherwise going to dip out of here, guys.
All right. Thanks,
Okay.
Josh.
Yep, I'm very excited for all this. I'll see you all on Tuesday, except Charlie, who I'll see on Saturday. You'll be on time, right, Charlie?
I believe so.
Okay. It did. Saturday's still working.
In all fairness, when we agreed to make the change from 9 to 7, I said I wasn't always going to be able to do that.
I know. Are you? Is that Saturday still working for you though?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Then I can try and kill you guys with Strahd then, and I will otherwise see you guys later.
You can try.
Good night.
I can
All
try.
right. Good night, Josh.
Night.
All right, I'm almost done here.
I'll just be picking shit throughout the week. I have so much shit to do.
Figure out my skills.
So much life shit to do.
Yay, life shit.
God.
Yeah, too much.
Talk about life shit. We're in fantasy land.
Yeah, we're in
Come on.
fantasy land.
What's wrong with
Yay.
personal traits? I blow up at the slightest insult. Insult me, guys. I'll stab you.
I'm not a snake. I'm warm-blooded.
What are you snaking, dude?
It's okay.
Talking about
We
insults?
know Josh is the real snake.
Wanna fight?
And now I'm trying to think of things to tell you about Jolly.
Yeah, what's up?
What was it? Think.
Do you have embarrassing childhood stories?
Was he
I
never?
can't think of any of his childhood stories right now.
Did you ever pants him?
No, it's all. It would have been too easy.
You're right.
I'm trying to think of things I've witnessed.
Tell me about his girlfriend.
I don't know if he has one. If he does, we haven't talked about it recently, and I don't remember.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna log off.
Alrighty. Good night, Eric.
But yeah, Charlie. I think it was might have been after you logged off. We talked about that we're gonna try and play the first session on the 3rd.
October 3rd.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
cool.
what
That
we're
works.
shooting for. Unless we're really not that ready, but
Eric, how long has our relationship been?
I don't know, man. Maybe a couple of years. I'm not that old, so I probably haven't been. I don't know how long you've selling drugs, but I haven't probably been doing them on and off for the last couple of years.
oh, you're talking about your characters. I was so confused.
It took me a second too. I was like, I don't know, like about a year.
Do you think you were big into drugs before?
What do you
Maybe
mean before? Before I met you?
Before you met, yeah.
Probably not. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess that can.
Because maybe you lost your guy, and now I'm your guy. I
lost
guess.
my guy. Yeah, for sure. It depends on you and like, have you been doing it for a long time,
That's
or
a
is
good
it something
question.
you know? Yeah, maybe it's more recent. Maybe it's just a few months. Because that makes sense. We don't need to know each other. It's been like a few months that I've been buying drugs. But anyway, I'm gonna go to bed. We'll talk. I want to message all you guys privately and talk more about backstory ideas.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good
It was
night.
nice meeting you, Charlie.
Good meeting you too.
Night, night, night.